$3. So we paid, that's okay. So that was the September thing we missed. So we didn't get we would pay $3. And I remember my first thought was, why am I paying $3? He overrides us. We paid him $3 because there was no guarantee that those prints were going to lead to business. Does that make sense? So we would print out the F&A, that was no guarantee that you were going to make money. But even if it was still, you're paying for the supplies in the office. You're paying for the cost. And we're all independent. We've all filled out an independent business application. So we're all independent contractors. So nobody here works for anybody. Okay? So just be clear on that. So that's why we do it that way. Hey guys, this is an expectation conversation. You can exclude that, if you take this, my wife retyped it. I'll be in full disclosure. I've had this in different formats. The last copy I had, Ryan Simonis had put it together. I liked his version of it, so I copied it. So my wife retyped it because I don't do so good at typing, and then she put my little thing at the bottom. Of course, take that off. Don't use that piece. But this piece here, I love. This is our expectation conversation when we're talking to a client. You need to have an expectation. And this is our expectation, guys. I don't charge for my time. I spend as much time with you as you need. I use a cutting-edge digital tool called an F&A. It works like a GPS, but it's for your money. It shows you exactly how to go from where you are to where you want to go. With the simple action steps, you need to clearly navigate to our financial goals, to your financial goals. Then after I help you implement it, you can reach out to me at any time. And of course, I'll stay in touch with you to help you keep making smart choices. The goal is for you to one day have enough money that works for you, so one day you don't have to work for money. You don't have to. All I ask in return are two things. Assuming you like the plan we create together, just allow me to make any changes you need, like an IRA, a new investment account, a will, or life insurance. I'm set up like Amazon and represent the most reputable companies in the industry like Fidelity, AIG, Franklin Templeton, Lincoln, etc. You can put in, if you use Bright House, put in Bright, whatever. They compensate me for the business we do with them, so you don't have to. Most of my income comes from overtime on any investment accounts you have with me. Most of my income, sorry guys, comes over time on any investment accounts you have with me. The better you do, the better I do. By the way, that's how they sell Fisher Investments online. And that's true of any wealth advisor. The better you do, the better we do. We're in it together, And second, I ask that you take a little time to introduce me to others you feel benefit too. This is how I market myself. And you can easily point them to my landing page to learn more. Well, if you have one. But all of us should these days with the CRM. There is a landing page included in the $25 a month on your CRM. If you didn't know that, I hope you need to go spend some time on that and get it set up. 4 landing pages, not 1 landing page. By asking my clients to introduce me to at least 3 others, this frees up my time to be with clients and helping people rather than spending time marketing and advertising. Any questions about either of those 2 things? And are you comfortable with that? So it's basically, I'm going to make money over time and I need referrals. So is that okay? And when people understand that and they agree to that, they're more likely to get you referrals and be ready to do that when that time comes. I'm going to ask for somebody. Beth, you got a question? Well, that's going to be throughout the F&A data collect, and it's going to be at the end. So I'm going to hit that at the very end when we do the F&A data collect, because there's a worksheet. Oh, no. When I do this, I would do this in the very early stages of talking to the client. And I would say, hey, just so you know how we get paid, my expectation of our relationship and your expectation, this is how we work together. So when you're very clear on that, they're not. Yeah, you want to let them know that up front. I think being very transparent and very clear to the client, because don't you know a lot of clients are sitting there going, how do they get paid? How much is this going to cost me? When do I write the check? I want to, our job is always to get people from this crossed-armed, I'm familiar with Prime America. My cousin, whatever, failed in your company. And so they don't, so you got to get them, our job is to get them to go from this to this. That's it. Defuse. And this is part of that. So when you set up the expectations, so it's very early in the relationship, you want to do that. So here's another way to look at it. You've met with a client, you've done the presentation. It's for a lot of us, it's a part of the video presentation where we build the financial house, or it's some variation of that, right? And then you get done, and it's like, we're going to get a next. Or you do it right then. It can be, if it's a very simple client scenario, it might be, let me just explain how we operate, if you have the time. But in the cases where it's the next first part of your conversation when you get back with them. Hey guys, great to see you again, but let me just set the stage. Here's my expectations if we're going to work together. Are you okay with these two things? Fair enough? Okay. Any other questions on that? F&A questionnaire is where we're going next, Larry. And I'm going to ask, if we can, I'd like to get somebody up here to be maybe, we're going to do old school. I know that's the financial needs analysis. It's under the Chrome tab on the bottom, financial needs analysis. And what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to ask for a couple to come up here and sit with me. We're going to do the whole, old school, and we're going to have a field trainee to my left and a couple across the table. Can we do that real quick? Somebody volunteer? I need a husband and wife team up here. You don't have to be, you don't have to be real life. We're not going to marry you before the presentation real quick. You want to do, okay, that would, Nuvia and Alex, come on up front. You just picked you got picked. And we're going to field train somebody. Who do you want to field train? Noah? No. Kevin's raising his hand. Kevin, come on up, man. Sorry. I'm going to pick Kevin because he's on my team. Sorry, Pierre. What's up, man? Good to see you.
It works for me.
Do I need to leave this up here, or would this be better if I left? Can I leave it on the table like that? We should get a stand for this thing so I can sit somewhere. Is that okay, you think? They work together. Kevin works with Alex, and they know each other. They've seen each other around Gaithersburg with kids and whatnot, overlap, soccer fields, stuff like that. So they're similar situation in life, kids in the same, similar places. So can you hear me okay with the way it is set up now, or do I need that lapel?
No, I can hear you through Zoom.
You can hear me through Zoom? So let me know if we need to. I don't know. What's our time frame with that?
You want me to keep time? What time? How much time do you want to give to them? How much time do you need on this?
45 minutes. 45, I think. Look at that. Okay, 10:25. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for letting us come by and sit down with you guys. I've already, if this is real, I've already come into the house. I've already shaken their hands. I've already given them a hug or whatever. I'm not giving them a hug. They don't know me. So, thank you. So I've already gotten into the house. My whole thing, if we are in the house, you want to be looking around their house for ways you can connect with them. And a lot of times it's going to be, I'm guessing if I walked into their house, I'm going to see pictures on the walls. I'm going to see kids' pictures. I'm going to see some signs of life. And I just want to figure out ways to connect with that life. And it might be my kids and see, soccer. It might be, whatever. And I'm going to figure out ways I can connect with them. And it might be the car in the driveway if you're actually going to see people. It might be just the neighborhood, whatever. I'm going to look for ways I can connect and build a relationship with them. And Kevin, we're going to get to a kitchen table in the house. Now these days, hell, a lot of the time it's going to be Zoom. So we're meeting them on Zoom. I don't get as much info that way. So then it's going to be just building a little bit of rapport. So let's maybe do a little bit of rapport building, talk about kids, and all the purpose of that is just to find ways to connect. That's it. And it's like if you went out, the way I've always thought about it, it's like if I was at a restaurant and I just met you guys and you were at the table next to me. Hey guys, what's going on? So it's just you want to connect somehow. And so, hey guys, thanks for spending your afternoon with us Saturday afternoon and giving us a little bit of time. I know we're training Kevin here, and Kevin appreciates it and knows you guys. How long have you guys known each other?
About 10 years.
Really? That's awesome, man. So how do you know each other? What's the connection?
We work together.
Okay.
Out of work with Bootcamp friends.
Okay. Very cool. Have you been at the same job for the last 10 years or different?
Been there a long time.
I gotcha. Fantastic. Okay. And did he give you any information or tell you what we kind of do? I mean, do he give you any details?
Not really. He said he was getting some license and he needed help for his training.
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. I just want you to know today is really, wait a second. Pause. This is a little different. Yeah. Pause, time out, because the setup was, we're just coming in. It's not. This is the setup is, if I'm coming in the first time, I'm going to have to present.
Right.
I'm not presenting today. We've already presented. We're getting back together. So this is,
This is like a second meeting.
second meeting. Yes. So, yeah, exactly. Back it up. So, guys, it's great to see you again. You know, we got together the last time and we went through what we do as a company. And you said, hey, let's get the plan put in place. And we talked about that. And we talked about the expectations. And you know that Kevin's getting licensed. Any referrals that you have, if you feel good about what we do, they're all going to Kevin. And it's for his benefit and his business. So today what we're going to do is we're just going to gather information from you. And no decisions will be made today. So relax. But we're going to find out as much as we can about, kind of what you've been doing. And then we're going to go back, Kevin and I, and we'll spend some time figuring out what would we recommend as licensed professionals that we would do if we were in your shoes. Is that fair enough? So we want to think of it like it's a family situation, close friends, family, which you are close friends, because I only want to give advice that I would take myself and say, hey, that makes a lot of sense. I want to do that for myself. Because as you remember the first time we met, that's how I got started in the business. I put a plan together, blew my mind. I would been taken advantage of by the life insurance industry. So if you go into this F&A data collect, financial needs analysis, guys, I never go to personal information to start with. That's a little bit too much. I'm going to go right to the bottom. I'm going to go to page 3. If you look at the pages, and on the very top of the page, that's where I'm going to start out. And the saving for retirement. And already know what best describes them basically by talking to them. I don't need to ask them. So they're not in retirement. I can kind of look at them. They're not 5 years from retirement. So they're saving for retirement. So I'm going to check that off. And I'm going to say, based on your current retirement plan, do you know what age you're going to be able to retire based on what you're doing right now?
No, we don't have a specific. So we need help with that.
Okay. And when you're talking to clients, you always want to get interaction from both. If they're both there in Zoom world, you still want to ask them both. And I'm going to have on my page, I'm going to have somewhere written down Nuvia. Why? Because not like, I forget. And then I'm going to also write down Alex. And my memory, when I'm in the middle of working, sometimes isn't the greatest. So I'm going to write down Nuvia and Alex so I can see that, so it'll prompt me. If I'm on Zoom, I'm going to say, hey, Nuvia, Alex said he has no clue, or you kind of feel the same way. I want to get a response from both of them, especially if I'm in the house. If I'm in the house, I want to get eye contact from both of them. And that's an important thing. I learned that a long time ago. If I'm only talking to him, you're going to blow that up. And just because that lady, she is going to, when I leave, she's going to go, I don't trust him. I don't like him. And we ain't doing business with him. And she'll blow that up. So you better deal with the wives and the husband, because and a lot of the times she's paying all the bills, or she's writing some checks, right? And so.
Can you repeat that question again? Do you know what age you're going to retire? So you ask that to each of them individually?
That's correct. Right on the top of the page, I say, hey, do you know, based on your current retirement plan, do you know what age you're going to be able to retire? And it pulled it, so they don't know. So I'm going to say no. Okay. And you're going to get a lot of responses there. You're going to, I have no clue. I have never thought about this. 99% of the population has never sat with a financial person that's ever asked them that. That's the first question they've ever been asked, first time they've ever been asked that question. At what age, realistically, would you like to retire? Yep. Okay. 60 years old, Alex? 60 years old. So that would be, you know, and when I say that too, I'm going to put down 60 here, but just so you know, Social Security, there's two ages that a lot of people look at because a lot of people rely on that as part of their retirement, 62 and 67. So I don't know, I mean, you say 60, would you be okay if I kind of worked on a plan for 62 instead of
Yeah,
60?
we can push it up soon.
Okay, let's do that. We're gonna do 62, so I'm gonna adjust that. And then at what age would you like to use for your life expectancy? Do you guys have longevity in your family? Do you have parents that are like in their 90s? Or do they pass away young? Are you concerned kind of about that?
No, I have family who lives long.
He does.
Longevity in the family? Nubia says not so much. Well, what we can do is we can use just the computer estimate then, if you think that's the case, unless you want me to override that.
No. we can-
Okay. And I think computer estimate these days is in the 80s somewhere. Men is a little bit less than women. So, but we'll use computer estimate. How much monthly household income would you like to get in retirement? And a lot of the times the goal is about 80% of what you make now. So if your combined income today is, you know, let's say it's 120,000. So then the goal would be is get about 80% of that. So that might mean like 90,000. What do you think? What, do you want to do that, or do you want to get exactly what you're making now in retirement?
No, what do you think?
If you could make the exact
So
same
you don't-
amount?
Today's dollar, right?
In today's dollars, yeah.
I don't know how much a month. 5,000?
7,000 a month would be a nice goal in retirement. So, okay, I'm going to make a note of that. I'm going to say monthly goal 7,000. And then underneath that, income during retirement. Will you earn additional income during retirement? Are you going to work any part-time jobs? You think so? Alex says he thinks long-term, I'm going to be working in retirement. So, okay, let's assume you're working. What do you want to put down some part-time income? Are you going to make $1,000 a month? 2,000?
1,000, yeah.
$1,000 a month, a little bit of part-time income. All right, I'm going to put that down there. And then let's say you start at 62. When do you think how long do you think you'll work and do that? Maybe 10 years? Let's put to 72. Nubia says, heck no, I'm not working. No, you're traveling. Well, you might have to get a boyfriend then. I'm just saying. No, I'm just kidding. I was just kidding. Anyway, estate to heir. Do you want to leave any kind of estate to your children or children's children? I know one of the main things is just to figure out if you're going to have enough money to retire and travel. So sometimes this, you know, can complicate things because this means more than that. So do you want to leave an estate to them? Do you want to leave?
Yes.
You do. Do you have any idea how much you want to leave to them? How many kids do you have, guys?
We have three.
3 children. Okay. Do you want to leave like a gift to each one of them? Like a certain dollar amount, 50,000 each, 100,000 each? From each 100,000. So the goal there would be, let's leave 300,000 as extra money for the kids. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. So they could affect the grandkids, you know? Social Security, do you want to include the numbers? Most of the time we do, but I understand, you know, the numbers say in 2033 they're going to be bankrupt. So I don't know what they're going to do about that, but I still think there's going to be something there. Do you guys want to include the numbers?
That'd be a good idea, or?
Well, if you don't put it in, it just means you're going to need to have more. And then if you get it, it's a bonus. So if we prepare for the worst, that means it doesn't have any. It's not a bad thing. Let's prepare for the worst and say there's no Social Security. Okay, so we're not going to include that. If you choose to include Social Security benefits, select computer estimate, or if you have a retirement benefit estimate from the Social Security Administration, enter that amount as the other amount based on your normal retirement age, receiving benefits, enter that amount as other amount. So that's all. If you think there's something there, if they're saying no, let's not, we're going to go down to pensions. If you have a pension, what will the monthly benefit be in today's dollars? Do you guys have a pension through your job? No.
Hell no.
You got a retirement plan there, like a 401k?
I do.
Okay. You don't have a retirement plan. So no pensions, so we don't have to worry about that, but it's nice if you have them. So we're going to skip over the pensions and we're going to go to page 4. And this is where we're going to kind of get an idea of what do you have in retirement accounts. How much do you have currently saved in retirement? And that would be work plan, 401k, and IRAs. Alex, how much is in there?
30,000.
You got 30,000 in it? Okay. And then Nubia, you said you didn't have one. Do you have an IRA or anything? Okay. What do you have in your IRA? 30,000, okay. So you both have about 30,000 saved.
Well,
And
I have an IRA.
oh, you do? Okay. Well, how much is in the IRA?
20.
20,000. So you got a total of 50,000. Nubia's got 30,000. Okay. All right. Are any of these from a previous employer? I mean, you said IRA, but is it an old 401k or 403b, or is it like your own self-directed?
That's current.
Self-directed. So you don't have an old retirement plan somewhere that you've left? Okay. So we're going to check no on those. Wait a second, Alex, you said you maybe do have one?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're acting it out. It's good to find money in
Okay.
Okay, no,
Let's say
change.
yes.
Oh, Alex found one. Okay. And you've got,
Work at that other place.
oh, that's right.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
And you were there for a long time, so, yeah.
Sometimes you do have to prompt them, right? 'Cause
How much do you think is in that old 401k?
20.
20,000, the old 401k. Okay, so I'm gonna make a note there. It's 20,000. But 401, is it a 401k?
Yes.
Okay. So if we add all yours up, yours is closer to 70 now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about 100,000 total. And you haven't rolled them into another account. They're just sitting there,
No, that one is
still there. It's kind of like, I call those accounts orphaned.
Mhm.
It's like a kid with no parents. Nobody's paying attention to it. Yeah, you left that job, you took all your possessions, but you left the money there. Isn't that crazy? If we could show you a way to take that money and move it into your IRA where you have possession of it and there was no risk to you, but actually there was some upside where you could grow that at a much better pace and have somebody keep an eye on it, would you be open to that?
Yes.
Okay. We'll look at that. I don't know because I might not know what I said.
It's recording.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Right now, and so what are you contributing, Alex, to your 401k at the job?
I'm doing 75 a month on my IRA.
$75 a month?
Yeah.
Okay, $75 a month.
And
for
I'm
sure.
doing 360 a month on my 401k.
So 360 on the, okay, so how much contribute? We're gonna do 360. All I'm gonna do is do a hash mark and I'm gonna do 75.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna write 360/75. 360 I know is gonna go to the 401k. If I need to put 401 to the left, I will, and then IRA to the right of that box. Your employer, what are they putting in? Are they putting in 50 cents on the dollar? Are they, do you know what?
They matching me up to 4%.
Is it dollar?
100%. 100% up.
up to 4%?
Yes.
So rather than me trying to do the math at that point, I'm gonna do 4% in that block, right? I'm just gonna put in 4% and then 100%, 4%, 100%. So that just reminds me, they're matching 100% up to 4% of your paycheck. In a little bit, I'll get your pay. I will worry about that. We're gonna get all that. And Nubia, you said nothing at the job, right?
Nothing. I got
Nothing at the
nothing.
job, so I'm
No.
gonna zero that out. Now, are you funding like Alex, your IRA every month?
Yes.
Same amount,
Same
75?
amount, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna put 75 for Nubia's funding of her IRA. I'm glad you're funding some retirement accounts. Who set up those retirement accounts for you? Did you do this on your own, or did you have a person sit down with you?
No,
No, we did it on
put
our own.
Okay, is it like on one of the online platforms? What brokerage did you use?
Robinhood. Yeah.
Robinhood is who you
Yeah.
got it set up with. Got it. Okay. So we got Robinhood. I'm going to make a note of that. You got Robinhood. Now, let's look at, no, that's good there. And there's no other retirement accounts. Okay. Do you expect anything else to come in at retirement? Is there any money out there, inheritance money coming in, anything? Nothing.
No.
Nothing expected. Okay. Now, down below that, if you notice, we might put in more details. You've got lines for, you could put Alex, you could put the 401k, the balance, monthly contributions, company match. You've got all this room for all the details. Do you see the blue boxes or in this case, light gray boxes in your thing? So you can figure them all out. In these, if you notice, there's a lot of details here. You might say, hey, is there a loan on it? You could find out if there's a loan. AUM question. I don't know if you're going to get into that because you've already got the total of volume amount that's in there. I don't even know if AUM would come up for any reason. I don't see the benefit of even having that. And then you've got lots of room for notes. So if you notice off to the right, oh, I see. If it's already with Primerica, that's that question. And rarely do you run into that. So next thing is going to be non-retirement assets, okay? And the non-retirement assets, how much do you have saved for needs and goals other than retirement? You know, that would be your checking, your savings, your stocks, your bonds, CDs, mutual funds. Alex, what do you think? Do you have it collectively or is it individual? Joint? 35,000 you got saved. Good for you guys. You know what I find a lot of the times? Most people don't have anything saved. The majority of the population, it's like, you know, like $500, $5,000 is good sometimes. So 35,000, good job. Do you put money in there every month to increase that 35,000?
We're taking out every month now.
You're taking money out now, so it's going down. Okay, so that's something worth working on is getting that to grow. So there's nothing going in there. I might put a negative mark in there and just, you know, they're taking out of that account. And if you notice underneath, let's break it down, that 35,000, is it in different places? Is it in one place? Okay. Okay. Is it in a place, is it earning any kind of interest?
No.
Nothing. Would you like to earn some interest on that money where you can get a better return?
Yes.
Yes, if there was
Yes,
a
sir.
way, yeah.
So if we
would
could show you a way to maybe get a 4% return with no risk of what you're doing right now and still have the money accessible, you'd want that? Okay. Do you have any idea what it's paying right now?
Nothing.
Less
zero.
than one.
Less than 1%. Okay. So I'll make a note of that. I think we can help you improve on that. And let's go to page 5. We're going to flip this over, guys. Page 5. Now we're going to dig in a little bit of what you make. So Alex, what do you make monthly or annually? Do you know one better than the other? 100,000. So I'm going to put 100,000 here. Is there on top of the 100,000, do you get any kind of bonuses or incentives or anything like that? So it's 100,000. We're going to put that annual. And Nuvia, what are you making? Same thing. 75,000, 80,000. So let's just do the 75. And do you get any kind of bonuses or incentives in addition to that?
No, I don't.
Okay, and that's annual income. So between the two of you, it's 175,000 bucks a year. Any other monthly income? Do you have any rental properties or any kind of part-time income, or do you rent out rooms or anything like that?
No.
No.
Do the kids make money? The 3 kids?
No.
You haven't?
No, they do make money, but
For
for
themselves.
them.
Yeah, they're not putting it on the household. Okay. Social Security pensions would be in there if they have it, but otherwise, we're going to put monthly income taxes there. I don't get, in that case, a lot of times I'm estimating, and I usually estimate about 20% of their income going to taxes. If I have a pay stub, I'll get it, but usually when I estimate about 20%, it's a pretty good number. It comes out, and I almost always, I'm so close. It's pretty amazing. So I might just say, hey, we're going to estimate about 20%. If they have a pay stub, nice to get it. If they don't, it's fine to not get it. Alex, what's the name of the employer? Where do you guys work?
It's called Empire.
Empire. Do you guys do flooring or what do you guys do?
No, we do tree work.
Tree work. Okay, very good. That's dangerous work, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't climb no trees.
You did at one point though?
No.
Okay, they don't do that. And your position manager, Nuvia, where do you work?
What's on my dental group? It's a dental office.
Your dental, what's your position there?
I'm a manager.
Okay, so you're very familiar. That's why you guys have great teeth, man. I get it now. Makes sense. Yeah, that's a good place to work for that. I'm like, God.
Yeah, it's
Because of
great.
her, I have teeth.
You because of her. Otherwise, you would have wooden teeth. Man, you better be thanking her every day. Tax returns. You guys normally get a big tax return.
Nah, we have to pay that.
You pay taxes, okay. You know, a lot of people, the average tax return, people evaluate, they say, that's great, man, I got 10,000 back from Uncle Sam. It's not a good thing, it's actually better to pay. Do you have to pay a lot or just a little?
No, we have to pay like 8,000.
8,000 is pretty common. So that's another reason why to increase that emergency fund too, right? So make sure you got plenty of money for that. So we're gonna make a note there. You're paying taxes. We'll put about $7,500 every year. Well, let me ask you something. If that's the case, if you're paying 7,500 in taxes, if Kevin and I had some ideas for you when we come back to share with you the results, and we could show you how to reduce your payable taxes and put you in a better situation tax-wise, is that something you'd want to explore?
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, we're gonna give you some ideas on how to get you in a better tax bracket.
Okay.
And so we don't need to ask if they want to do something with that money because there's no money to be done with. We're gonna go to page 6. Do you know your credit score?
Yeah.
You do know it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good, good, good. I don't need to know it. I asked that because we have a service whereby we could help improve that if that was something you felt like you needed to work on. Because it's just important if you're going to buy future homes, second homes, cars, things like that. We all know it's important. It even affects your auto insurance. You know, if you have bad credit, you can have high premiums on your auto insurance. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
What's that? It's actually, I believe we have it with our identity theft protection and legal protection. Um, Legal Shield, yeah. Has anyone ever tried to steal your identity before?
They have, yes.
Yes.
They have?
You have.
Okay. What happened in that situation? Was it a pain in the butt to kind of resolve?
Well,
Yeah.
when they did that, there were some credit cards on my name.
Okay.
I just ignored
You didn't even pay attention
it.
to it.
I think it went away with
But
time.
I think it was $30,000.
$30,000
Yeah,
stuff
that-
rose up.
the real
Did that-
story.
Did that affect your credit?
I'm sure it did, but
Wow. Do you currently have any debt outside the house?
No.
well, you can car loan.
Oh, I have a car loan, yeah.
Car loan, mortgage, but that's it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Proud of you guys. Do you know when those are going to be paid off, the car loan and the house?
Car loan in 4 years and the house hopefully in 4.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I'm going to make, that's great. If I can, well, in this case, I don't even know that you need it, but if you wanted to be in a better position, if you wanted to protect your identity, we do have a service. But it sounds like you guys have done a really good job with your debt. Is there any, would you like to have your identity in better protected from online social media presence and being stolen and all that stuff? Okay. We have a service out there that kind of can do that, then give you a line of defense online. And it also gives you like $1 million in protection if you ever had to go through resolving, like getting your credit back to where it was, because it might take time to do that. We have a team of people that you can work with that would fix that for you if you had some major online theft like that. So let's do your debt real quick. You have a mortgage. What's the name of the mortgage company?
Freedom Mortgage?
Freedom Mortgage. And what's the balance on the loan?
159. Yeah.
159? Okay. And then what's your monthly payment? Total principal and interest, everything included?
1900.
1,900. And we're going to break down that into a couple of different places. Do you know what your interest rate is?
299.
299. You got one of the better ones back when they were really low.
Yes.
And that's fixed, that's not variable, it's
It's
not a
fixed.
decimal rate?
It's
Okay.
fixed.
All right. Do you have any idea where your mortgage statement is? 2.99.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea where your mortgage statement is so we can do like a breakdown of your escrow and stuff like that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do. I can give it
All
to
right.
you.
So of the 1,900, let's say, how much was principal and interest of that?
I think interest about 400 and principal is 700.
400, 700, so that's 1,100 principal and interest.
And then it's escrow and mortgage.
So you
Escrow
got a
and
bunch
insurance,
of
yeah.
taxes and mortgage.
Yeah, I do.
So taxes, woo! Let's look at that. So do you have, in this case, if that's like 800 bucks, let's assume your property taxes are what, like 400 or 500 bucks?
Yeah, it's
Okay, we're gonna put like,
500, yeah.
let's put $500 on property taxes. Man, Maryland's got some taxes, doesn't it?
Yes.
Goodness gracious. So I guess we gotta make sure we vote properly because these guys, these taxes. So anyway, that's 500 bucks. And it looks like homeowners insurance would, do you have any PMI still?
You do? Yeah.
You
We do, yeah.
Okay,
We
do you
have
know how much that is?
150.
150 on PMI, and then you also have, looks, the remainder would be about 250?
Something like for the insurance, mortgage
Yeah, or
insurance.
let's
Yeah.
do 150, I think is what it is. So
Yeah.
that would be 800, yeah. So, just so you know what they are, if you don't know, if you're a homeowner, you know, you should know that there's a couple different things on the escrow that are broken out. You gotta pay your taxes, and you gotta pay your homeowner's insurance, and you might have primary mortgage insurance. These guys just told me they have PMI. So now I'm going to take a minute and talk to them about it because Nuvia just said she thinks she can pay this thing off in a short period of time. How many years have you been in this mortgage again?
6 years.
6 years, okay. Interesting, and you're still paying PMI. Do you have you ever looked at trying to get rid of the PMI? Because I'm guessing the valuation of the house is more than $159,000 today. If you sold the house today, what do you think it's worth?
500.
So I'm going to make a note of here in that column down here at 500K. And if the house can be sold for 500,000, normally PMI is included in the loan if you don't have 20% of the loan paid down to the amount of the value of the home. Does that make sense? So, if you bought the home and it was $500,000 home and you don't put down 100,000, they include PMI. But that mortgage insurance only protects the mortgage company. So Freedom is benefiting from that. You benefit from none of that, and you're spending $150 for that. It would seem like to me that would be something worth digging into, because if we could show you a way to get rid of your PMI, save you the $150, you could take that $150 and put it towards other things. Does that make sense? Where you could benefit from, whether that's life insurance or, IRAs or some things like that. So we're going to want to look into that a little bit, because I think that's something we can get rid of. I just got rid of mine this last year, and all I had to do was pay for a home appraisal, and they came out, appraised the home at a higher value, and they eliminated like $200 a month off my mortgage.
One
waste-
great value, guys, that Gordon is sharing with a client, they're not gonna know how to do that on their own. Well, you guys. but you're
Yeah,
pretending.
I just had a client in Virginia that I was working with, and they were paying $223 a month for PMI, and they've got the home value. They paid down more. They got more than 20% equity, and they pulled out their loan documents, and it said they had to be in the home for 5 years, and they've been in the home for 5 years. So they immediately started calling the mortgage company and started moving on that. And that's $223 a month found money just by talking to the client about it. So you want to really, yeah. And if you can do that, you got to think that goes back to the value statement at the beginning. Denise? They do not have to refinance a loan to get rid of PMI, but they might have to pay for an appraisal. Odds are they will have to pay for an appraisal, not might, because the mortgage company wants a document on file, a legal document that they could put in the records to say, this was approved, and this is why it was approved, because the equity in the home was there compared to the loan value.
And it would be the way determined when I call the mortgage company.
It's easy. If you call your mortgage company, Freedom, whatever that Freedom Federal Credit, whatever the company is, you call them and say, hey, I'm paying for my PMI, primary mortgage insurance, and I've seen it as mortgage primary. I've seen it flipped a little bit, MIP, mortgage insurance protection, or MIP or PMI. But I'm paying for that, and I want it removed from my loan. Who do I talk to? And they'll, yeah, or whatever. And they're used to this happening. And as long as it's done properly, they're going to get rid of it. They don't want somebody negatively reporting on them or a hostile situation. They want it done, but they're never going to call you. They will never call you. And you could be paying on this 10 years past the time you should be, and they're not going to call you. They might remove it if you call them years later and refinance, and then it might get removed because the refinance warranted that and they couldn't put it in there. But if they can put the damn thing in, they're putting it in because it's insurance for them. Extra money for them. Because what it does, say that?
You're at 10.
10-10. So what it does, and what did I say, 25? So 15 minutes.
Insurance for a company, not you.
100%. PMI or MIP is for it's for the mortgage company, and what it's saying is you are high risk to them, higher risk, so you are paying for their insurance, which if you default on the loan, they can turn around and sell your property at a discount, and it covers between current market value. That's what PMI does for them, and what they sold it for at a discount. Why do you think sometimes homes sit in disrepair when the bank owns them? Because the client paid for PMI and they don't give a crap. They've got the mortgage insurance that's protecting them, and they can offload the property and still get insured. And that's why insurance for us is so important, because if we're benefiting, and that's why life insurance is so important for us, because it's the only check that goes to the family, okay? Yeah.
So you said that, just to clear, they have to be
Some mortgage loans require that. I don't know that for sure for every one of them. We were in our house for just under 5 years and I got rid of it. Home appreciation's been good for the last 4 years. And when we bought our house, we put some, but we were close. We didn't put the whole 20% down. But we've paid on it for 4 years. And because of that pay down of the principal and I've added extra on it, we qualified. Yeah, so it was there. So the second thing we got to put, and this is simple, you guys are making this really easy, is just your car loan. What did you say? What kind of car is it?
It's an Acura MDX.
Acura. I love Acuras. I actually drive an Acura. So what's the loan balance on that?
I think I have
5,000?
5%. No, the balance?
The balance,
Oh,
how
no,
much would it
like
take to pay it off?
35,000.
35,000 to pay it off, and you said the interest rate was 5%? Okay, and what's your monthly payment on that?
I think it's 680.
680 for that? And is that a fixed interest loan, or does
It's
it?
a fixed.
It's a fixed interest? Do you send them any extra every month, or just?
Yeah, I do a little 100 here and there.
100 here and there, always $100? Or-
Always
Let's put it
$100.
in
Sometimes
interest.
a little bit more, but 100.
Okay. I didn't even ask you this, but going back to the home, are you adding extra to the home mortgage payment? Because you said it was 1,900. Are you putting above that?
Yes, we are sending to the principal around 1,600 a month.
Wait a second, hold on. So 1,900 is your mortgage payment. You're adding an extra 1,600 on top of that.
Yes.
Holy moly, okay, I'm glad I asked, okay? So you're really accelerating your debts, $100 on the car, 1,600 on the house. Just curious, why did you decide to put so much towards the house on an interest rate of 2.99?
Well, now for my account in play.
I don't want it to.
I think that I wanted to have the house paid off.
You
It's
just
something
wanna
that,
get it
yeah.
done.
I just want to get that one out.
If I have some ideas for you that might include that 1,600, would you be open if I could show you some better ways to manage that 1,600? Maybe it's putting more towards retirement, would you be
Yeah,
open to that? Just
yeah.
exploring some ideas?
Uh-huh.
I don't wanna mess up your plan, but if I got some ideas on maybe how you can put less towards the mortgage, but still pay it off in almost the same period of time, is that okay?
Is it possible? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's possible. I
Okay.
really believe it's possible. We're going to page 7.
Great job, Gordo.
And we're going to basics. This is where we're gonna get into, protection and life insurance.
Okay.
Guys, would you say it's important, very important to protect your family's financial future if you were to die prematurely?
Very important.
It's very important. Nubia,
Yeah.
same thing, very
Yeah,
important?
very important.
Awesome. Do you currently own any life insurance right now?
We don't.
No.
Yikes.
Don't we have some at work?
I think it is.
Did you, yeah, I thought you were telling me that you signed up.
There's
for some
something at work you guys think?
Yeah.
Is it a lot? Is it maybe make what you make a year? Is it burial coverage?
I think it's like one time.
One time my income.
One time your income and you make 100? So you got 100,000, you sure?
I think so. I'm not confident, but
You're not confident? Nubia working at the dental practice?
I don't have
I
anything.
wouldn't rely on it.
Wow.
I just say we don't have life insurance.
3 kids, no life insurance?
No.
Okay. Yikes. Well, look, guys, when a responsible family like yours doesn't have any life insurance outside of work or is underinsured, it's usually due to one of the following reasons. You guys either didn't think you needed it, you didn't think you could afford it, or you just had never gotten around to it, which is kind of what we find a lot of times is the situation.
We never got around to it.
Right.
Neither one, you just never got around to it.
Great question.
Would you say now is a good time to get around to it if we could put something together that's affordable for you guys? It makes sense.
Yeah.
I would strongly encourage that. Yeah, it's super important. I can tell you this, man, when we did that years ago and when I did that for Kevin and Ashley years ago, I think they slept a lot better. I know I did. I mean, when I opened sleeping better, but I slept better
Okay.
when I opened, because I now all of a sudden have this $800,000 coverage. I was like, anyway, maybe I'm the only one laughing at that one. It's like, honey, don't kill me now. Anyway. So no life insurance, so we don't need to put anything existing. This is super easy. What we're gonna wanna do, guys, is we're gonna wanna figure out budget-wise, what you're gonna be comfortable with, but we're gonna put together a plan to show you how to protect your family once and for all.
Okay.
So group coverage, one of the things I just want to address on the group coverage, because Kevin brought it up, is you might have some. Nubia doesn't have any, you might have some. There's a thing through group coverage called an actively at work provision. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I can show you a quick statement on it. I don't have it, I don't think it's sitting here in front of me. But what I would do is I would show them a quick statement on the actively at work clause. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it, but bottom line, the group coverage plan has problems. And here's a problem, one problem of many. One of the other problems of actively at work is, the other problem is you leave your employer, it's gone. So it's one of those things that it stays at the employer, you don't take it with you, just like any other benefit stays with the employer. But the actively at work clause says, if you're not actively employed and you're out of work due to an illness or injury, and you're battling cancer, or you're battling some major illness and you die, guess what?
You won't pay?
It won't pay. So that's a problem with group life insurance that we've found over the years. So we just say, don't rely on it. So we're not gonna include that into your numbers. We're just gonna assume nothing. If they have anything, I promise you Nuvia will be very happy if you get some group coverage in the event you pass before Nuvia does. So,
Gordon,
yeah,
question. So I had a job, it's 120 days and we get switched over to disability
okay,
leave. Does that mean that I'm no longer covered?
that's correct. Yeah. So when you switch over to disability, yeah, what happens is you would have to pay for any benefits that you had at the employer. So, and if you're not paying for it, you don't get it. So that's why it's one of those things, group coverage, if it's free, it's included, it's one of those things you lose when you're out.
So can I have a question?
Yeah.
So when you say it's switched over to disability, for people that may not know, what does that mean?
That means basically if he's out of work, if he got injured on the job, and there might be some sort of disability plan or option. Some of those plans require you to pay out of pocket for insurance. I know that when we had our first child, the insurance that we had through the employer required us to pay for a small amount, our required amount of the health insurance that we would have been getting if she was still getting a paycheck. So we paid that health insurance premium. If you have long-term care or short-term disability, a lot of times you pay for that out of pocket if you're out of work because you're not still drawing a paycheck. Does that make sense? So if you guys were to die prematurely, and it's not like if, it's when, because we're all gonna die, would you agree?
Yes.
So if you were to die prematurely, would you want your family standard of living to be better, worse, or at least stay the same?
At least the same.
What do you think, Alex? Do you want to stay the same? Do you want Olivia to be better?
Better, but at least the same.
Better might be, I think I would be with you, man. I'd say my want to be better and at least stay. So let's do better and maybe even stay the same. We'll look at a combination of those. Here's rule of thumb. Question?
Yeah, quick question. Is it true that with, the group coverage, it only pays out if you, get hurt or get sick while you're working, or you have to be actually on the job? for it to pay
Depends
out?
on the plan. If you are, what I have found out over the years, every job is a little different. But if there is some sort of clause in it that has variables, meaning it might not pay for this reason or that reason, that's not a good insurance plan. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So if it has like stipulations and rules, that's bad. We don't want that. We just want to know if you die, we pay. That's the kind of insurance that I believe in. So, thank you. We're gonna push it because of some of the questions. So here's what we want to teach you real quick. This is a simple math formula. It's 10 times rule, okay? And there's two ways to kind of calculate it. One is called the dime, one is the 10 times rule. Depending on how you're working and what you've been taught, you can do both. If you notice, the top of the page is dime, in the middle of the page is the income multiplier method. Both work. Now, I don't want to tell you which one to do. I've used them both. I like them both. But you want to calculate for them, what do they need in life insurance? And so in this case, what you would ask is, and it said for the dime, it's like, I always go and I'll jump down to paying off debts before I do the income. And what I'll say is, okay, God forbid, if either one of you dies, would you want the mortgage paid off?
Yes.
So I'm gonna check yes to the mortgage, and we know that mortgage is about $160,000. If God forbid either one of you died, do you want that Acura paid off?
Yes.
Those are the only two debts. So you would not have to deal with the mortgage payment or the car payment if God forbid you lost Alex. That's a bare minimum life insurance we recommend. And then final expenses. So we would say, hey, let's get final expenses, let's pay off all your debts. That should be the minimum amount of life insurance. They leave the other person whole, so they don't have any creditors coming after them. But now, above that, let's look at, do you want to set aside some money for the kids' educations?
Yes.
So all three kids have some money for college, okay? And what are the ages of the kids? Okay, so you might have two that are in college now or close to it, and one that. What if each kid had about $50,000 saved? Do you think that would be an adequate amount? So you had $150,000 for the kids for education.
Right.
Let's just do that. Let's do 150K for the kids. I'll put that in there. Now, assuming all that stuff's taken care of, let's go back to income coming into your house. How much income would you still want coming in, assuming all the debts are paid? So no mortgage payment, no car payment. I'm going to ask you, Nuvia, and the kids have some money for education. Alex is no longer with us. How much would you need monthly coming in every month? Would you need a couple $1,000s a month still? Because assuming there's a single parent household now, I want you to think about that. You're not going to want to work twice as much. So you probably want a couple $1,000s a month coming in, wouldn't you?
Yeah, at least 7,000 to 5,000.
Okay, but he's only making 8,000 now. After taxes, probably 5. So you've got paid off all the debts. You want to with 4,000, that would be, okay, and he said, let's leave you better. So we're gonna do 4,000 for Alex. That's 50,000 a year, basically, still coming in, and you'd be okay. Alex, I'm going to you. Nuvia's gone. All the debts are paid. You still got responsibilities to take care of these kids. They're still relying on you, and you've lost $75,000 a year, which is about $6,000 a month. After tax, about $4,000. Do you still need a couple $1,000s a month coming in?
Yeah, about the same. The same.
You want 4,000 coming in? Okay, so we're gonna do 4,000 each, and we're gonna pay off all the debts. We're gonna do the calculation for that, and when we get back together, I'm gonna give you multiple choices to look at. So I'm gonna give you that, I'm gonna give you a little better, and I'm gonna give you a worst case scenario. Fair enough? If I'm doing a 10 times rule, 5 or 10 times rule,
Can I ask a question?
yeah, if you've been taught that, you can do that, but yeah.
So you adding dime, I mean, these three, paying debt, plus final expenses, and the 4,000 on top of that?
I am.
That's what you, okay.
Yeah.
That was just for me.
Yeah, that's just for you. Now, if I am just doing the multiplier, that's another way to do it. And I can just say, hey, let's do 10 times, which would be, you need to put $1 million on Nuvia, you need to put $750,000. Flip that, $1 million on Alex, $750,000 on Nuvia. And that's another way to do it. That's totally up to you. I like to get them to think about, let's pay off the debts, let's pay off the car, let's put final expenses, let's have an income stream coming in. To me, I always like that. It just logically, I don't know why. That's just what I like. Do you guys smoke?
No.
Okay. Do you guys, these days, it might not be on here, but do you smoke marijuana? Because these days it's legal. Okay.
No.
Do you guys chew tobacco or do anything with tobacco products? So some people these days, they say they don't smoke, but then I find out later on they're chewing tobacco or they're doing hookah or they're doing any of that stuff. None of that stuff. Okay. No tobacco products, thank God. Have you ever had a problem applying or getting life insurance before? Because you don't have any now. Never even applied, so that's not an issue. How's your health? You guys have pretty good health? I mean, you guys look great. Dentist work, I mean, that usually ties to good health. Are you guys healthy?
Yeah.
You take any prescription meds?
No.
Okay. No diabetes, no high blood pressure, no sleep apnea? Okay, I like to ask that, okay. Now, this is a very important one too, because this might determine whether we can get you a preferred rate or not. Your parents, are they still alive, both sides?
Yeah.
Oh, my dad passed away.
Okay, was he over 65 or under 65?
No, he was 58.
52 is young, so you had your father died at a young age, yes. Alex, parents, you said longevity earlier, so your parents are both alive, okay. Alex, how tall are you?
No, I'm told.
He's 5'10".
5'10", okay.
That's right.
Nubia, how tall are you?
5'5".
5'5". And then Alex, how much do you weigh?
149.
Okay. And then Nubia? 120, okay. If Kevin and I can go back and put together an affordable life insurance program that adequately protects your family and improves your current program, which would be any improvement, would you implement that program and get it started as soon as today if we could do it?
Yes, we will.
Okay, awesome. That really depends on the person, whether you want to get into it or not then. You can actually get into it then if you feel like that it's an open door, you could open the door, in my opinion. Sometimes you might decide you want to get back with them. A lot of times I might dig into it right then. If I'm feeling like it was hard to get in front of them and this is an opportunity and they've told me, okay, I might run some numbers as quickly as I can and get an idea to get them. If you feel like you're too new and you don't want to dig into that yet, take the time and say, look, we're going to get back to you on that, okay? That's a judgment call. I think that takes a little bit more skill to get into right then, but certainly I've been in situations where I want to get it done. That's correct, yeah.
Especially if they're feeling it.
If they're feeling it, it's moving really good.
Yeah.
Guys, we're moving pretty quick, so let's see if we can wrap this up. What's my time, Anita?
You're at 10:27.
So I'm already past, so I'm gonna,
It's over.
okay. I allotted like 2 for the whole time for this, so if we, yeah. So that's what, 9:15 to 11:15 was the whole time. So here's what we want to look at next is how much do you think, we find that most clients can free up a couple $100 a month in addition to what they're doing. However, there are a fortunate few that might have $500 or more, and then there are those with are on a fixed budget, might only have $100. This is above and beyond what you're doing right now. Can you set aside any extra money? And what we would look at is things like the emergency fund, the life insurance, the things that are needed, more money in retirement. So those would be some of the areas. It might be that we need to do something with the identity theft or get a will in place. But what do you think you can set aside every month? 500 bucks? 400 bucks? So we're gonna put 400 bucks there. And so what that would mean is maybe, each of you commit to like $50 a week extra. And that's $100 a week, which is $400 a month, if you wanna break it down that way. So you can commit to that?
Yes.
So that seems reasonable, okay. Is there anything that you think you can avoid? I mean, there's some things people realize they're wasting money. What 3 expenses could you avoid or reduce without decreasing your quality of life? Example might be 3 sodas a day. I had a guy one time who was sitting with me, he was drinking a Red Bull, and it was one of the big, tall Red Bulls, and he was in auto sales. And I'm like, how many of those you drink a day? Because every time I saw him, he had one. He says, I drink 3 a day. And I was like, that's a lot. How much does each one cost you? And he's like, well, I buy them at the convenience store, so they're like $8 a piece. So 3 of those a day is $24 a day. So I don't know. That's what I said. I was like, dude, you're headed to a heart attack. I'm on page 9, right in the middle of the page. So I might, in this case,
Hang on, everybody, let's stay focused.
let's stay focused, guys. We're about to wrap up here. This is not a lot more. At this point, these guys don't waste money. This is not the scenario. They don't have any debts. I can tell kind of going in. You guys don't have anything like that going on. You guys are healthy. There's no Red Bull addiction. There's no smoking addiction. Okay. If we can put together a program that helps you reach your short term, that's insurance and getting out of debt, and long term, which is your savings goals, is there any reason why you would not go ahead and begin implementing the program when we get back together?
No.
No reason why. Nuvia, is that true? Okay. Assuming you feel really good about what we do, is there any reason you wouldn't recommend 10 or more people like yourselves who you should hear about the program? We'll mention that we have been helping you with your financial goals, of course, and they would make up their own mind. So you don't have to twist any arms. We're just saying, do you know other families that could benefit? And 10 sounds like a lot, but maybe it's 5 and 5 from different workplaces. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds fair. We're gonna put yes there. Now, we talked about the tax thing earlier because you're paying taxes. And we also talked about, you said, hey, you got these goals of traveling, okay? If we could show you a way to make more money, because would you like to make more money? Okay.
Yes, sure.
Most everybody's looking for additional income. Unfortunately, many families struggle with having enough money to do the things they need to do, much less having extra money to do the things they want to do. Oftentimes, we get to the end of the money before we get to the end of the month, If our analysis identifies a shortfall between your current income and your family's future goals and dreams, is there any reason why you wouldn't consider the opportunity to work with us, maybe part-time, like Kevin's doing?
No, we would.
No reason why we wouldn't, okay. And if we can show you how to make an additional $2,000 a month, would you want to see what that looks like when we get back together? All right, let's get back together if we can. I know life's busy, but when I do this, what I found, if we don't get back together in 7 days, we forget a lot of stuff. So ideally, what we want to look at is in the next 7 days. So I know, Nuvia, you probably hold the calendar for the family. Is that true?
Yes.
What's it look like? Can we schedule something? And I'd like a day or 2 with Kevin to put together notes on this, and we can get together. We'll spend some time after this meeting. But I think we could be ready. This is Saturday. Kevin and I could be ready as early as Monday night, but if we need to do later in the week, we can do that.
Monday's fine, right? It's okay with me.
Monday is that.
Monday, get back together, 7 o'clock? Okay, 7 PM? So we're gonna do 7 PM. We're gonna get back together Monday, which is in a couple of days. This is the 6th today, 7th, 8th, 9th. So I'm gonna get back together at 9/9. Is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. We do have, I will tell you this in advance, and this might mean two things the same week, but I'm just gonna put it out there. If you had an interest in looking at the business, that Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on where you're at, we have a business overview. And if you guys want to look at that, that might mean you come back that next night and just look at it. It'll be on Zoom, or you can come to the office. Do you think you could make that meeting that week?
Yeah.
You can do Zooms, yeah.
Okay, because I'll tell you this, what we find is every time somebody shows up, even if they're clients, even if they don't have an interest in the business, once they come, and there's no pressure, they just do better financially. They learn a lot more, they pick up some of the fundamentals more, they see how we operate, they feel more comfortable doing business with us. So I'm gonna put you down for that Tuesday night invite for coming to the business overview.
Okay.
If I'm inviting them to the office, if it's local, I'm gonna give them the address, I'm gonna give them the details, I'm gonna tell them to come early, and then I'm gonna call them that day of, and I'm gonna remind them that they're coming out to the office. So, guys, this last page, I have never done it. I've never done it, never gonna do it. I don't think I'll ever change, and that is getting the client to sign off on acknowledging that we're doing this. I feel like it's weird and it's cumbersome. Now, what I am gonna do is I am gonna go back to page 2. If you guys do it, do it. So the last page I'm gonna get is I might look at these other pages, but here, let's wrap this up. Go back to page 2, and this is where I'm gonna get all their personal information that I don't have yet. Page 2 is gonna get their date of birth, okay? And then I might even get, I'm gonna get date of birth. I'm gonna get, because at that point, they're gonna be really comfortable about giving me all their personal information. So I'm gonna get their names, I'm gonna get their date of birth, I'm gonna get their emails, I'm gonna get their cells if I don't have it. I'm gonna get the kids' names and the date of birth for the kids, because they're not gonna feel weird about giving me children's birthdays. Getting a data collect, I don't do that to start out with. It's dumbest thing to do, in my opinion. Don't dig into that right away. Do it at the end. Now, go to the last couple of pages. This is where we're going to kind of wrap some things up, and we're going to leave some things with them. Was there anything outside of what we talked about today? Is there a major goal coming up? Do you want to buy? This is page 12. Okay. Is there a goal coming up that you have set up that you've been talking about? Do you want to buy a home at the beach? Do you want to buy a boat? Do you want to buy you want to get another home somewhere? Alex, yes? Okay. So yes. Are you currently saving for that goal right now?
No.
So that's something, if we could put together a game plan to getting you there, you want that?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's talk about that. It's another house. Is it like a beach house for you guys, or is it like a mountain home, or is it a rental property, or what is it?
No, it would be, like the home I wanted, like a single house and
We live in
land.
a townhouse and she wants a single.
You want a single-family home to purchase down the road. Okay, so let's put that down there. And when you buy a home, you don't need to come in with 100% of the cash up front. You can come in with 20%, so you don't get the PMI. Let's look at 20% of the home value. What's it gonna cost to buy this home?
The area I like, it's like about 120 that I need to come up.
So that's 20% of it. So if that's, that's a $600,000 home? So you want a $600,000 home, so I wanna make a note of that, 600K home, single-family home. And you're gonna put, we're gonna put 120,000, and there's nothing saved for it, right? Okay. Emergency fund. You got the 30,000 saved, but is there anything outside of that that you've labeled as an emergency fund? So that money you get into and get in out of. If we established an account that was out of sight, out of mind, and that could earn like a 4% return for you or better, you would like something like that. Is that what I'm assuming? So we're gonna work on getting an emergency fund, so you don't have one. I'm gonna say nothing saved for that. And then, and I'm done on the emergency fund. I've already got a commitment on what they're willing to give me, extra money. I don't need to put anything in that column. Auto insurance, what do you have right now for auto insurance? Who do you pay? Progressive, okay. So you have it. Do you feel like you're paying too much?
Yes.
Okay. How much do you pay right now for Progressive auto insurance? 700 a month for Progressive auto, and how many drivers do you have on that? You got 4 drivers, and that's why. How many cars? 4 and 4. So you got 4 cars, 4 drivers. That's actually not terrible, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm in the same boat, and I'm at 1,000. But let's do this anyway. If there was a way we could save you money, would it be worth at least trying?
Yes.
Spend about 20 minutes, make a call. We'll do that. We may not do it. We won't do it between now and Monday, but we'll set up a time with Kevin, and I'll have him do it with you after Monday, sometime later in the week. All right, we'll do that later. I'd like to set up the trainee to do that. If I need to do it, I'll do it, but I'd like the trainee to get paid on that. And so we'll set that up later on. Do you currently have a will?
No.
Okay. And so you don't have any kind of legal service or anybody, nothing like that, so I didn't think so. Guys, you have 3 kids. They're a little bit older, but do you understand if, God forbid, you guys were on a trip somewhere and you both passed away, that this could be a complete mess in your family if you didn't have a will? And what a will would do is keep all of your assets, everything personal, out of the court system and going through probate. Because right now, the state of Maryland has a plan for your assets and everything that you own. And if you don't have a will, you got to follow whatever the state guidelines are, okay? That's never really in your benefit. And what that means is they have to get a probate attorney involved, and there's a cost in that. So they're going to shrink down some of the money that you did have. If we could put a will in place for your family that where the 3 kids benefited the most, like I'm assuming you want, and everything was clean and orderly at, God forbid, at the worst time of your life, with potential death in the family, would you want that taken care of?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get that taken care of too Monday when we get back together. This last page, this is page 14, 15. If you get the workbooks, I didn't print all of them, but 16 and 17 is going to be the referral page. This is a great tool. This is going to be left with them, the budget worksheet. And what I'm going to do is that budget worksheet, I'm going to slide it across the table and I'm going to say, you got some homework. I got some homework. Kevin and I have some homework. We're going to go back and we're going to spend 4, 5, 6 hours putting a great plan together for you guys. We're going to spend more time. I think that what we find is families have ever spent looking at their finances. But Kevin and I are going to put together what we would do if we were you guys. And then we're going to come back and show that to you on Monday. All I'm asking is between now and Monday, can you guys sit down and kind of map out, if you notice there's now and then there's in the future, put down what do you spend in all these categories. The boxes over here we should have already, because that's the stuff we've collected from you. That's the mortgage, the insurances, those kinds of things. So, if you want to fill it out, you can, but just do the stuff that you don't really know here or that you haven't maybe done in the past. And one thing that requires, pull up your bank statement and go back and plug in the numbers. Because I can tell you these days, like groceries, a family of 4, it's got to be $300 a week, easy. Might be $500 a week. I mean, it's crazy. You go to the grocery store these days, check out a Costco, and it's like, where did the $200 go? $400. So that's your job. That fair enough? And then on the back of that, over here, this is where we get paid primarily. And this is through the referrals. And this is for Kevin, for his business to keep going. And if you feel good, that's if we've done the right things. I'm not going to ask for them on the table when we get back together. I do want to dig into the budget worksheet. We'll look at that a little bit. But then primarily, that's for us to get paid so when we can move on and we don't have to keep, trying to find new clients, family and friends that could benefit. So that's where we go from there. Okay? That's the data collect. All right? I think for time purposes, maybe we just quick, is there any question on any of that F&A data collect? Did anybody learn anything?
Yeah.
Tambria in the back?
Great question. Great structure.
Hold on, well,
For Social Security, does it matter how, usually if they're over 50, you might include that in the calculation for retirement?
yeah, I think I certainly would. And I might do that with Kevin on the back end when I'm working with him. If they are, the question was, that Hector asked was, might you include Social Security based on their age? Yeah. Especially if they're really close to Social Security, I might come back and say, look, I went ahead and included it in the numbers because it might be a sad state if I don't include it, if that makes any sense. I might be looking at their numbers. If they were 55 years old and they told me they had 100,000 saved, That's going to be almost impossible for them to hit their numbers. I really need to get Social Security in there. A Social Security question reminds me, everybody in here should go set up a Social Security profile. I would do it this week, ssa.gov. If you haven't done it, you need to do it because it's like looking in the mirror. Have you been paying into Social Security? Do you know what it's going to look like when you get there? It'll give you all your numbers. You should encourage your clients to do that. ssa.gov, set up a Social Security profile. It is a benefit that we all get as citizens of the United States. So dadgummit, let's get those benefits and get that money. I'm an advocate of take it early because they're telling us by 2033, it's going to be out of money. If you're 62, if you can, now some of you can't because maybe you're still working at 62. 67 might be the age because at 62, they'll reduce your income because of your income. At 67, they don't. So you get your full benefit at 67. So you take that damn benefit when you can get it because if you don't, you might get some messages down the road that our government's blown stuff up and they have spent the money and then we're taking less. And we're going to have some pissed off people. You think people are mad at the president, we're going to have everybody mad. So the Tambria had a question in the back she was asking. Yeah. It's really kind of a judgment call. The question was, when do you include certain savings into emergency funds or not? I include it if they have a separate savings account that's off the platform, meaning out of their bank account, something that they don't see, then I would include it in there, okay, into an emergency fund. But more often than not, I'm not including it. I'm assuming that money's saved that they get into and they get out of. So I would say that's not an emergency fund. Does that answer that question? Yeah, I would put it in their assets, certainly, but I wouldn't put it in the emergency fund goal. I would recommend they set up an emergency fund off platform. I'd also recommend get out of CDs. CDs suck because they have time frames. Emergency means it could happen tomorrow. CD means you're on the bank's time frame. That ain't a good place to have your money. Well, I got to go and now I got to pay a penalty. You start teaching people that they got to pay penalties for everything, they're not going to like financial people. They're not going to like financial places. So get people away from penalties, and that's why emergency funds and Roth IRAs are huge for everybody out there, because the emergency fund is easily accessible and a Roth IRA is also easily accessible. It's a backup emergency fund. If you didn't know that, a Roth IRA is a backup emergency fund. You can access all of your investments tax-free, penalty-free, always. So that's why you need both. Any other questions on that? Yeah. Kyla. Yes, ma'am. So the question was, what am I doing with these sheets? I'm going to go back and put it all in. I never want to do it in front of the client with a computer. It's too much. I want paperwork. I don't want them seeing me behind a computer screen. I'm talking to them. I'm filling out forms. I like the forms today. Even if I'm online on Zoom, I'm not on the computer tapping away. I'm filling out a form. I'm filling it out, and then I'm going to go back later with Kevin, and that's where I'm going to teach Kevin how to do an F&A. Now, I know that we don't have time to do that today, but that's a separate situation. But I have people that do F&As, and then they'll call me, and I'm entering stuff in, and we look at them together. It does take a little bit of, finesse. You got to do them. Yeah. But once you got this data collect form, I can have an F&A filled out in 15 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. And I could be working on a solution in 30 minutes, to be honest with you, an hour. And at time it's good for all of us to do because you're getting a good handle on your own finances as you're doing it. And we're professionals, guys. I got a guy that does my taxes. He spends time off his, I'm not with him all the time. He's putting it together. That's what we do. We're as important, if not more important, than the tax person. Because we're looking at the future. The tax person's looking at the past. So that's the difference. I've had some people say, well, I've got a person that does my taxes. I'm like, great, that's the past. That guy's never looking at the future. I'm always looking at the future. So do you want a guy looking at the future? Gal, guy, whatever, right? Any other questions on the F&A data collect? Alex got a question.
Obviously, what I'm saying here is the more money they have extra,
What time is it, Anita?
the better, right?
Okay, we got it.
In a lot of cases, people have no extra.
Yes.
And they have a lot,
Yes.
I mean, doing this whole thing
Yes.
for almost no purpose.
Yeah,
at the moment.
yeah,
So what do you do there? You go recruiting, right?
yeah.
There's
Alex,
more money by.
Alex's question is they're tight, okay? And if they're tight, my first thought is there's two thoughts I've got. Alex says, do you go recruiting right away? My first thought as a financial professional is no, I don't go recruiting yet. I'm going to try to figure out ways I can free up money. I'm going to look for the tax refund. I'm going to look for the debt solution. I'm going to look for those areas. And then the budget worksheet. Shonda does a good job of this. I would suggest you really dig into the budget worksheet with them at that appointment. I didn't do it with this family. I got a $500 commitment. I got extra money going to I don't need to waste my time on the budget worksheet with this family. Now, so the question would be is what do I do? That's when the budget worksheet, I'm going to do it on that appointment. I'm going to find out where there's opportunities, and there still may not be. And if there's not, and there's a major shortfall, then it's going to be, you got to be at the business overview. I'm going to be talking to them about getting started. And to be honest with you, I would push back the get back together till they show up to the business overview. And then I'm going to meet with them after if I could do it. And that would be the perfect world because I've planted the seeds. They've showed up. They've showed interest. And it's going to be an easy recruit because they came to the business overview. Does that make sense? So if I could time it that way, that would be ideal. Okay. But I'll take my time on it. I want to get, as a professional, I don't like to come across recruiting heavy when I'm doing F&As. That's not my purpose. My job is to be a professional, okay? Fully licensed, I'm going to be a pro. I'm going to work on their recommendations. Lynette's got a question?
Just a comment, I just wanted to know how much cost on Kevin did, because you had the training.
Yeah.
He wanted to come in and start.
I didn't have to kick. Lynette says she wants it to be noted that, Kevin didn't talk hardly at all. He brought up the life insurance. I could have kicked him because I don't even want that. But he brought it up, which made me spend more time because I had to talk about the actively at work clause, and Alex is already saying no. But that's okay. It's true. I don't need any help. And the only time you want the trainee to speak up is if I turn to Kevin and say, what do you think about that? Or how do you know that? And then I'm going to want Kevin to input. So that's a good point.
I was ready to buy the life insurance. He was talking me out.
He's talking you out of it. I'm about ready to. No, just kidding. We were all kidding with you. But you felt like it was important, so it was good. Brought it up. Guys, there's going to be one more piece before I get off the stage, and that's going to be this last page I'm going to have Larry pull up, and that's the action steps. It's as important as any of this other stuff. So I'm going to ask Alex and Nuvia to come back up here real quick. Kevin, you're okay. If you want to come up, come on. Come on up, man. If you're on, come on. You're looking good today. Just shut up. Just can't say anything. So this is under the Word document, Larry. Word document, and this is action steps. Now, a couple things, guys. On every appointment, I would suggest you have print this out. This is available on POL, and this is an F&A data collect. This is the F&A sample, and it says F&A sample. Have this with you, and if you need it at any point in time, you have this with you as an example. I have these in my portfolio, and have a decent portfolio. If you're walking into the client's house, don't have something junky. Go buy, spend $20 on one of these. You look professional. Have a decent pen. Don't have a Bic. This is a tool. It costs, a couple of dollars, but then have the sample F&A. It's better if you have a Mont Blanc back in the day or a nice pen. Deepak's probably going to pull out something. Used to, right? Used to pull out $1,000 Mont Blanc and lay it, but not anymore. But have it at home. Mine's in the client's hand somewhere. I stopped doing it because I went through a couple of those pens. Christian always like, have a nice pen, and then too many of my clients ended up with them. I was like, I was donating them to families in need. I felt like I should have put it on my tax return as a donation. Have the sample though, okay? Now, for time purposes, the sample is gold. But for time purposes now, when you're done with the F&A, nobody wants to go through 30 pages of a document. And when you're with them, I'm going to say, guys, here's the F&A. I'm going to open it up for them, and I'm going to show them like their basic page. Now, I didn't do this, and I don't have this as a handout, so just know this. What I will do is I'll go to their financial position page, okay? So I didn't give you a copy of that, but I'll go to this page, and I'll run through this with them real quick, and I'll say, hey, here are some issues. I'm gonna look at their net worth pretty quick. And I'm gonna say, look, bottom line, your net worth today is whatever it is. Sometimes it's in the red. Our job, Kevin and I's job, is to get you out of the red into the positive. Because if this never goes from the red to the positive, you'll never retire. Okay? And the only way this grows is we're gonna decrease your liabilities, your taxes, and we're gonna increase your assets. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna decrease liabilities and increase your assets. That's the whole point of this plan. So I know I didn't give you that sheet, but that sheet is my go-to sheet, okay? That's financial position sheet. I am not going into this for any really other purpose. There's a nice debt stacking strategy that I might use, and that's gold too, but in this case, I like this almost 100% of the time. And this is gonna be what they make and where it goes. They've never seen this in their life. The pie chart will show them. This is alarming, and the sample one from the home office, 45% of their income goes to debt. You want them to be alarmed if that's what you're doing. Your job is to disturb in these cases to get them to take action. There is way too much, and I'm gonna talk to them about it. Now, in their case, it would have been fairly decent. It would have been just building up their assets, and it would have been a quick conversation of what we want to do. But here's what I'm gonna do. This document in itself, if you notice, is 30 pages long. This is your document. For today, I'm not gonna go through every page. What I've done for us guys is I've created a summary, and this is an action plan, action steps for you guys.
This is after the comeback.
Yes, now I'm back with them, okay? Yeah. Yes, I'm bringing back the F&A, their F&A. Kevin and I have worked on it. I'm gonna have a printed copy. If it's done on Zoom, I'm emailing these days to them. I've had to email them a couple times. I had a client lost it the other day. Like, can you email that again? I'm like, yeah, I got it right here. This is their working document, right? But I am not gonna spend an hour going through this thing. I'm gonna do the summary page, and then I'm going to action steps. People like to check off things, okay? The psychology is, I'm gonna show them problems, areas of concern, and I've maybe talked about it on the net worth sheet. And then the next, if you scroll it up a little bit, I'm gonna do positive areas. I'm gonna reinforce what I think they've done well. So Larry, if you can move that up a little bit. If you can, positive areas. And then if you notice, the last thing is gonna be implementing solutions. So that's gonna be what we're gonna do today, okay? So implementing solutions. So let's go to the top, areas of concern. Now understand this is actually a real client that I did. I just took off the last name. Areas of concern. You guys are drastically underprotected with life insurance. This is true in this scenario, and that's a concern. And have you guys thought about that and been worried about that at times in your life?
Yes.
Yeah, you think about it, and when you hear people say, and you know, this month is, September is, guess what the month it is? It's Life Insurance Awareness Month. It's a good month to be talking about this and addressing this. Number two is you really don't have an emergency fund. You've got some money saved, that 30,000, but you guys kind of mentioned it's not really set aside for just emergencies. The third thing is 28% of your income is still going to debt. And you know what causes a lot of that? You're putting so much towards the mortgage, all that extra money. What we would like to do is maybe put a little bit less towards that and more towards other things. No will or living will, you mentioned that. Okay, here's positive areas. With our debt stacking strategy and only an extra $250, we're gonna have you out of debt in 10 years, okay? Everything's gone, okay? Which is less money than you're putting now. You're putting $1,600 towards that, so that's way in advance. We're gonna be able to take some of that money and put it towards your goal of this other home that you want, the single-family home. Number two is participation work retirement accounts getting matches. I'm proud of you for doing that. A lot of people don't even do that. Current net worth is $180,000, so good job there. We found $257 a month in debt overpay that's going towards your goals. I did a debt stacking strategy, and you're putting extra. That doesn't match up with really what they gave me, but this is this client's. But I'm gonna give them some positives. Does that make sense? So now they're feeling okay. Now it's gonna be implementing the recommendations from Kevin and I. So the first recommendation, we're gonna recommend you apply for $650,000 in life insurance on Alex. That's $129 a month. And we're gonna recommend you get $350,000 on Ashley, and that's for $46 a month. In just a minute, I'm gonna come back to 3 choices for you. I never like to tell clients exactly what to do. I like to recommend. Now, you can choose the better or you can choose the worse at that point. But at this point, I'm just giving you my recommendations. Fair enough? Okay. Triplicate of choice is coming up. I am not doing that here. I'm giving them my recommendations, which is almost 99% of the time, it's gonna be that middle recommendation. And I'm giving them the dollar amount. The second thing I'm gonna do, and I'll go back, by the way, these implementing these solutions, I'm gonna give you my recommendations, but then I'm gonna have justification in the document. I tell everybody that. I say everything's justified in the document. We'll always refer back to that in the future because that's your plan, okay? So the second thing, we're gonna set up an emergency fund. It's an interesting thing, and a lot of people always go, whether it's that account, it's joint tenants with rights of survivorship. That just means I'm gonna set up an account with both your names on it, and we're gonna show you how to earn almost 4% on that money. 3.8% is kind of the going rate, rather than having money at the bank and only earning, whatever it is. And in this case, you could put $500 a month in that account, that number to try to match up with the data collect. Whatever it is, so life insurance, emergency fund. Tony Reyna.
Just for class purpose, can you explain, you said emergency fund, you goes all the way?
Yeah.
Who did that, and what is it?
What that means, it's just the title. It's like IRA, but it's joint tenants with rights of survivorship. All that means is, God forbid something happens to one or the other person has the right to it, and you both have the right to it as you're alive. It's joint account, so one of you could get the money without the other one's questioning it. It's a joint account. So if Alex says, hey, I need $500, you can get $500. And there's going to be a way for you to do it online, or you can call the 800 number. You can even call me, but I'd rather you start learning how to do it yourself. But you're going to have it off-site, and it's going to be your account, okay? And it'll be on your app. We have an app that you'll be able to see all this in. Isn't that going to be cool? To turn to an app? Don't be looking at my drinks. Number 3, reduce Alex's money that you're putting in. In this case, this client was putting too much money, and I'm going to set aside some of that money into a Roth IRA, okay? He was putting a bunch of money, didn't have a whole lot of money, overly contributing his work plan, 401k, and so I'm going to take some of that and put it into his Roth IRA. Because first place to go with money is match, second place to go is Roth IRA. Roth IRA is a backup emergency fund, and it's tax-free in retirement. Number 4, I'm going to set up your legal protection. Kevin and I will do that, so we'll make sure you get your will and advance directives done. Number 5, schedule your auto and homeowners insurance with Kevin this week. And number 6, we're going to explore budgeting worksheet options for more opportunities. I don't know that would be the exact scenario for you guys, but those 6 things we're going to do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately go to triplicate of choice, which I don't have a handout for you, but I'm going to give them their 3 choices on insurance and have them pick one, and we're doing an app right then. And then we're also going to do, and then once I'm done with the app, what I do is I normally, whether I'm on Zoom or in person, I'm going to go, congratulations, check mark. Number 1. I'm moving down through the sheet that day. Congratulations, we'll go ahead and do your emergency fund. Do you have the time? We're doing applications right then. They pick, we got it. And now that's progress. People like to check things off a list. And they feel good about it, and I'm assuming we're doing this. Because they said earlier, they're doing this. We've committed to the date. We're doing this. They know they need the help. We've disturbed them enough. We're doing this. That's it.
Life-changing.
Yep. Yep. All right. What time we got, Anita? What's our time? I said 11:15. We should probably wrap this up. So, anybody learn anything? What'd you get? What was learned that maybe you didn't know before? Okay.
No, this was really good, like for new people that are here,
Yeah.
that haven't had the chance to see that happen. That was a really good program.
Everybody in the Zoom world still out there? Dang. Larry says we got 32 people online. How many people here in the office? 40?
130.
I didn't even hear how many. What's that?
430.
Oh, there's people here that are counted online that are here also. Okay. Yeah.
Gordon, isn't it, some companies charge $1,200 to $1,500 to create this plan?
Deepak says, do some companies charge thousands of dollars to put a plan in place? Absolutely, they do. And there's other companies that put programs in place. I've seen Northwestern Mutuals. It's horrific. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. If you've ever been with them, or if you've ever seen one, they're terrible. Ours are gold compared to anything I've ever seen out there. I know, Beth, did you pay somebody to do? So Beth said she paid a guy $5,000 to do a plan that was not as detailed, and so she not only did the guy get $5,000 for a fee, but then he sold her index universal life insurance, which is a big con. So it happens, guys. So understand what we do for free, and then we got guys out there that are, Kevin is working as an independent contractor. I'm an independent contractor. We would have just spent money with this client, and we're not making a ton of money. We're making $1,000, $2,000. We deserve these daggum referrals. We deserve their 5 to 10 referrals. You got to know that in your heart. Tony Reyna.
The best part is, even if you pay that money, nobody talks about the debt.
Yeah.
They don't even touch it.
Tony says nobody is going to talk to you about the debt when they do planning. You know why they don't do that? Because they don't make money doing that. There's no revenue source for them to do that. And guess what? There's no revenue source for us. Over the years, we've sometimes had it. And when we get our smart loans, or not smart loans, when we get our mortgage business back, because in some states, and most of the states today, Primerica has Rocket Mortgage, we're going to have the opportunity at some point, I've heard very soon in Maryland, where we're going to be able to do a loan. And you're going to need to do an F&A, because the F&A, if it's done properly, easy to do their life insurance, easy to do their mortgage, easy to do their investments, because you've got all their info, and now they're looking at you totally differently than the life insurance person. You are no longer the life insurance person. Tambria first, then Larry. When is a good time to use your Roth IRA as an emergency fund? Never if you can avoid it, because it's messing up your retirement. You got to know the consequences. But you can use it at any time after it's been set up. If you're pulling your cost basis out, which if you call Primerica and ask for a withdrawal, they do that first. They will withdraw all your cost basis first before they touch your your earnings. What you put in would be your cost basis. So Anita says, what's the cost basis? If Anita put in $5,000 in her Roth IRA and it was worth $10,000, her cost basis was $5,000. Does that make sense? So if she calls home office and says, I need $5,000 out of my Roth IRA, she's going to get $5,000 with no taxes and penalties. So that's a backup emergency fund. Now, if she says, I want $6,000, she's going to get penalized and taxed on $1,000. So you just want to try to prevent the penalties and taxes on people, because then they get bitter and then they don't want to do, so that's why we have advisors. That's why we're here working with them. Before you ask, Tambri's got a question. Sure, hands right. I hardly ever get people buying back, but
They don't, but they do throw it out there.
yeah, you can take, let's say Anita's 5,000 was 10,000 and she pulls it all out and doesn't take the taxes on it. She could say, I don't want to pay any taxes or penalties. I'll do it at tax time. They would give her 60 days to come back to the table with the whole 10,000, and then she wouldn't have to pay taxes and penalties and any fees. So that doesn't usually happen, but it could. I mean, I had a guy ask me one time, and he pulled money out for a down payment on a house, and he said, well, I'm gonna bring the money back. Yeah, he didn't never brought it back. I was like, you're gonna get into that house and realize you need furniture. Your wife's gonna say, babe, we need a couch. We need a new riding lawnmower. You're gonna get it, and that's what happened. And I never saw it again, and he's gonna have to pay the penalties on it. But he did save the money, and he didn't get into a nicer home. So there's consequences in life, and he's happy and he's not mad. Yeah, give and take with things. I forgot your name. David. That's right, David Armstrong. I remember Zoom now. They wanted you to.
No, I had to.
You had to.
Yeah, I had funds in there.
Pension, yeah.
But then they weren't taken out for 2 years. They didn't know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
By that time, I transferred over to a traditional
Traditional IRA from a pension, yep.
So is there a way to transfer that money from a traditional to a Roth?
There is, yeah. A lot of people do a lot of those conversions. A lot of that, you've got to start looking at the numbers. And here are the numbers. How much longer is it going to be before you pull money out of that account? So is the consequence worth it? Because the consequence is all that money that's in that traditional that you convert to a Roth becomes taxable income in that year. You might not want to do it. So yeah, nix that right now. We got where it becomes, I think, very a good reason to do it. You're young, if you're in your 20s and 30s, and it's not large dollar amounts. I got a guy right now he's young and he's in his 30s and he's got about 100 in each. We've been converting some of that traditional into a Roth, and I'll be honest with you, in some ways, from an advisory point, we don't get paid to do that crap, and it's a pain in the butt. But for the client, it's a big benefit. And so I'll do it a lot of times when clients tell me they got $10,000 in a traditional IRA. I'll roll it into a Roth. If they're young, I'll say, and I just did that with a guy. I said, hey, let's set up a Roth. Let's just put it in a Roth. Pay your consequence this year. You're 25 years old. Who cares? And a lot of people go, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because now it's Roth, and it's going to have 30 years to grow, and it's all tax-free in the future. Because I show them the number, and I'm like, well, crap, that could be another $250,000 tax-free money. Would you like to just go ahead and pay the $1,000 this year in taxes? Yes, I would. Okay, do it. So that's where we could answer questions all day on those kind of things, David. So we don't have a whole lot of time. We got a schedule. So what's our time? I'm done. Is it 11:15? Okay. So we're going to take a quick break. Anita says we're going to take a quick break, stretch, high five, everybody. Coffee, donuts in the back. Hold on before we do break, but we have coffee, donuts. I got a cooler in there full of bottled water. Grab it. It's for you. It's got those 8-ounce bottles of water. Larry, what's your question?
So, one quick point. I sat with quite a few of the IUL agents, I'm sure a lot of you guys have. But if you ask them if they do an F&A on that financial situation sheet, the first sheet of the F&A, there isn't one. So when you actually have that in color and you show that to a client, it almost turns the stomach upside down. The point of that is when you're looking at a $2,100 a month for $1 million in an IUL, and we give you $1 million for $400 saving client, think about it. And then you do the F&A and show them where their money is actually going, their liabilities versus their actual assets. So that's one of the things that separates us apart from every other agent out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys, we're going to take, what do we, thank you, Deepak. Next part, Marie Acevedo is up here, and he's going over how to do a great recruiting interview. So get ready, use the restroom, and come back. We're back 15 minutes? I think 15 minutes. No? 10 minutes. 5-10 minutes. Let's get back here in 10 minutes, guys. Yes. What's up with
How are you? You did a good job. But you guys are doing your
vitamin D was too high. Thank you. Okay.
The causes of that, so like having high calcium is very dangerous for the heart. So they had to like, we go to the hospital because they get it out. And then
Is that from the blood?
there's also the cause, yeah, it is.
Yes, how do you do vitamin D? You have to take blood out of your...
I think calcium had to do IVs for hours.
I was cleaning out my garage. I don't do that often, but I had some time. And I found my CRM. Anybody ever seen this? This was my CRM. How cool is that? I'm gonna throw it away, but I was just like, man, this is crazy. I have notes and everything. And then this was a tape series, Zig Ziglar Corporation, See You at the Top. Does anybody know how to convert this into CD or PDF? All right, so this is a great series, Zig Ziglar, See You at the Top. So how's everybody doing? Good? All right, so what I'm gonna do is, my recruiting interview is very simple. However, just wanna kind of set the stage. I know Gordon did a great job going through the F&A, doing a great job there, breaking it down. One of the things that I fell in love with was recruiting from the shortfall, right? One of the things that my coach, Frank Dillon, he's actually coaching me and Anita once a week, and how to build a big base shop, how to recreate or rebrand yourself. If you notice, Frank, his organization is exploding. Like literally exploding. Frank went from 1.5 to 1.8. He'll be at 2 million this year. He'll grow his income by $500,000. And he taught me one thing, that if they need our product, they need our opportunity. So that's the mindset that I have. They need our if they need our products, they need our opportunity. So I always have my recruiting mindset up, my recruiting antenna is always up. And so what I want to do is I want to share something before I get into the recruiting interview. I want to talk to you guys about something that we're working on as a team right now. I know our recruiting numbers, I think I've been involved. I don't know how many recruits we've done this year, but I think I've been involved in all of them, right? And our hierarchy usually recruits about 2,000, 2,500 recruits a year. So it's something that we've, transferred down, because I trained Ursula, I trained Miguel Lazo, Manuel Taramona, and then they trained the brothers. There's a mindset that we have about recruiting. However, if you're not recruiting with a purpose, then you're just recruiting. You're just throwing numbers against the wall, okay? And so in the Zoom world, can you guys see my screen? Somebody say yes. Okay, so what we have to do, guys, as an organization, it's great, Anita's focus on writing $7 million in assets under management. She goes, I want to make 100,000 on my own pen. I'm like, okay, cool. But for me, recruiting is what opens all the opportunities, right? I recruited somebody for my guy, Jose. He wrote his first life sale on his own. But then because he's asking the right questions in the F&A, he found 168,000. You with me? So that's how you find it. I'm going to focus on premium. And I did, when the computer clicks over, I'll be almost at 7,000 in personal premium, which is through my CRM. Right? So let me talk to you, let me set the stage, and then we'll role play with somebody and show you exactly what we do. Recruiting is just an attitude. The one example that I always use is real estate, okay? Real estate, one of the flaws in real estate, you can make a lot of money. One of my clients for 10 years, she's been number one or number two with RE/MAX forever. Like literally, she's been making $500,000 every year since I met her 10 years ago. However, she got tired. All right, when you get tired, what do you want to do now? You want to leave RE/MAX and start your own thing. That's basically what she's doing. So there's a point in time that if you're in high-end sales, like we are, by the way, you got to start accepting that we're in high-end sales. We're not messing around with small stuff. Anita had a lunch with a lady that I prospected, has $500,000. It's not $100 a month PSE, right? And she's going to be rolling that money over, right? She took her out to dinner last night and things like that. We're in high-end sales, so you have to see yourself as a high-end professional. And that's the problem, that a lot of people that we bring into the business, we don't give them a self-development plan for them to see themselves as a high-end pro. I'm a pro. Say it after me. I'm a pro. You're a pro. If you want to get pro money, you got to start seeing yourself as a pro player. So how does that happen? You know, so the mindset is you got to develop a culture, okay? A culture is the environment you create. Listen, Linda, we tried this whole building a big base shop through Zoom. It's not working. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, we need to create. Now, listen, Anita took me to an appointment last Saturday, and I went there kicking and crying. I didn't want to go. I don't want to go to Beltsville. That's an hour away without traffic. I just don't want to go. Why can't we do it on Zoom? She says, we need to be in person. We need to have that high technology, but also high touch. Are you with me? So we got to create an environment where I like this environment. You with me? Now, we're not going to disregard our friends and family that are right now in South Carolina, Texas, California. We got people from all across the country. But I'd rather sit with them and talk to them, you know, have lunch one-on-one, get to meet them, right? Culture should feel natural, not forced because someone said it should be, right? So a culture, right? Look, in the Hispanic market, our identity is not our jobs and our title. Our identity is our kids, our families. That's our identity. Not what I do is my kids, my culture. How are they being raised? Does that make sense? So the base shop should be built the same way. It should be a culture where when you come here, you're gonna make money. When you come here, you're gonna get licensed. Are you with me? So when you get recruiting going, you have to set a culture right from the start. So if you go in and you say, okay, I'm gonna recruit somebody, but then I'm gonna write 4 or 5 sales, but I didn't teach them the culture of building a base shop. You with me? And so listen, by the way, a strong culture doesn't happen by accident. It's on purpose. You with me? I mean, like today, I was this close not coming, okay? But I made a commitment because my son right now, he's actually playing against Rutgers. He's a goalie in college. And today he's gonna get the starting position as a goalie. So it's all good, it's all good. He's got like 15 other games and we'll go see him. He's at Penn State right now, so, right? So, but you know what? I made a commitment and I wanted my guys to see, hey, you know, I could easily drive to Rutgers. It's only like 2 hours from here, right? So that's important. Creating a culture about recruiting, creating a culture about prospecting. You know, one of the mistakes, and as leaders, we take this personally, one of the biggest mistakes is prospecting. Cold prospecting, it should not be something that's done forever, right? There's got to be a point where that snowball gets bigger. You with me? That you stop and the business keeps going. So I didn't recruit any directs last month. I'm not proud of it. However, there was a point that it stopped, meaning I gotta go get into directs because the ball kept going, right? We do about 270, 300 recruits a month through the organization. But that was something that we started back in 2009. Are you with me? So there's gonna be a point, you gotta ask yourself, what is your exit point that you don't have to prospect anymore? That your business keeps going. Like all the sales that I wrote, and I wrote seven sales, none of them came from cold prospecting. Actually, that's not true. I prospected a lady at the cashier because she asked me, you always dress so sharp. Well, what do you do? True story. Hey, because I'm always wearing a jacket, not today because it's going to be 90 degrees. She prospected me. She said, hey, what do you do? I didn't prospect. She asked me a question. What do you do? What do you do? Man, I'm in personal finances. And I know she has a baby. And by the way, I do want to share this with you that it's all about people. You've got to have a pleasing personality. There's a video out there. I have it a CD. It's in my garage in one of the cans. It's called the likability factor. That you got to become the person where people go, like in my building, right, Jay? In my building, when I walk into my building, I know everybody in all the offices, all 5 floors. I know everybody and everybody knows me. Here's why. Because when I went to the store, Nuvia, I knew she was pregnant. Bless you. I knew, let's say Nuvia was pregnant. I went to the cashier and said, hey, how's your baby today? How old's the baby now? 2 months. Oh my gosh, man, it's gonna go by like this. Man, congratulations. Oh yeah, man, that's my second. Oh, that's awesome, man. And what's your husband's name again? Edwin. So wait, you're Filipino, where's he from, right? So I'm interested versus being interesting. That's recruiting. Man, so tell me, and then I just kept asking questions and I said, okay, have a great day. And I go to the same stores all the time, okay? I don't change. There's certain things I don't do, right? So then I come up, dressed with a nice little pocket thingy in my jacket and what do you call those? Pocket squares, right? I'm walking in. Sometimes I wear my Jordans with the nice jacket and then, hey, how's it going? You know, maybe a week later, 2 weeks. She goes, everybody calls me, Mr. Ace, Mr. Ace. So what do you do, Mr. Ace? Well, I'm glad you asked. I work in personal finances. I help people just like you get their house in order. What? What do you think about a Roth IRA? What do I think about it? I love them. Why? Do you have one? No. And then I said this, just God's honest truth, Kyla. I walk out and I said, whatever you do, because I know Filipinos, they love IULs, okay? They get sold like crazy. I said, Melka, whatever, and I'm walking out, whatever you do, don't mess with IUL. Wait, Mr. Ace, what do you mean don't mess with IULs? I said, just don't mess with it. It's a very dangerous product. Very dangerous. And then, but Mr. Ace, all right, Melka, please don't tell me you have IUL. Just like that in front of her colleagues at the cashier. Please tell me you don't have that. She goes, yeah, I got three. Three. $173 a month for her 3-year-old, $180 a month for her, and $179 for her husband. And she thought that her husband had $500,000. He's only 30, he had 150,000. I saved this girl, well, this girl because I'm older, but I saved this lady so much money. Like today at 6:30, we're gonna invest the other 385 we freed up. So, but guess what? I'm talking about recruiting. You know what? That's Ivan Earl, right? When the husband and wife came last Saturday to the office, we replaced those programs. And she goes, yeah, but she never calls me. I said, guess what? She's gonna call you. She's gonna call you now, right? So her husband's like, man, I even put my paperwork to work with what is it? National, whatever, a crappy company. I said, tell me you didn't get licensed there. No, I never finished. I thought it was always fishy. I said, you were right. So guess what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna recruit him, right? Does it make sense? So anyway, you gotta create a culture for everything, for recognition, for prospecting, using POL, the resources. Guys, if you've been here at least 2 or 3 years, you're going to have clients that are either getting divorced. I had a client had 2 more kids. We added another $200 worth of life insurance on them. You know, I'm getting divorced. I need to put a spousal. I mean, like literally, if you're first of all, they're very happy that you're calling them. Most people write a sale and they leave. Okay, so I'm going to skip all this. Let's just get into this thing. All right. Let me pick somebody that's never seen me. Who's never seen me do my recruiting interview? You haven't seen it? All right, have a seat here. What's your name, young man? Jaden. Jaden. Yes, sir. All right, have a seat, my guy. So you guys all know that I do the recruiting video, okay? but there's a few questions you got to ask up front first before you get the permission of doing the interview.
Are you about to do your 12 and 6 right now?
Yep,
No, bet.
yep, 12 and 6, okay? Hey, listen, if they're dumb, they won't join. And I'm assuming they're not dumb. Okay, you like my CRM? I gotta put it in the shredder. All right, so let's say I met Jaden through Kyla. Okay, Kyla, why don't you sit here and introduce me? Kyla is the best, not the worst.
Thank you.
Now, her, Jay, and Damo are literally the ones that are, for the most part, always putting people on the calls every single day. Okay? I do a 12 and a 6 because Frank said, who's the best recruiter? Lynette, who's the best recruiter in your office? You. Who's the best recruiter at Tuesday night? Christian or Gordon or Hector, right? These guys have been time tested. So there's certain things that I'm gonna do that most people don't do. This is a recruiting interview, not a presentation. That's the mistake. Let me not get ahead of myself. Okay, Kyla, usually we do it on Zoom. We're gonna narrow it down to make sure that they, after they get on Zoom, they come to the office, okay? So before Jaden walks in, I'm asking Kyla, tell me about Jaden.
He's a young man. He's 20 years old.
Oh, Lord. Hope he doesn't need mama's permission.
Yes, I've
I
had.
have 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to my daddy. Like, how old are you, man?
Yeah. He works at. No, he doesn't work. He's in school.
You're college athlete? Okay, but you're not on camera yet. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
So he was a college athlete. So there's a possibility he's broke if he doesn't have a job. So let's get ready. I don't have the 99. Does it make sense? So we got to be very specific who are we recruiting. So right now, I'm preparing my mind to talk to him. You with me? All right, excellent. And where does he live, Kyla? Do you know?
Maryland.
Maryland? Where in Maryland? Owensville. Oh, finally, we get somebody local. All right, awesome. Jaden, okay. Bing, boom, he's on the call.
All right. Hey, Jaden. This is Ace. This is Ace. He's going to be running the Zoom today. Well, the call today. He is our senior broker. He's been in the business for over 25 years, and we do this as a team. So he's going to be the one that is going to take over and show he's going to run our interview today.
Jaden, my guy, how you doing, man? Blessed. How about yourself? Man, I'm doing so good, I can't stand it. Jaden, and I'm gonna ask the same question. So Jaden, where are you located at, Jaden?
Right now, I'm in Owens Mills.
Owens Mills, okay. And if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for work?
I don't work.
You don't work? You got a sugar mom or something?
Nah.
Okay. And Kyla will always say, Ace, you're a hot mess, right? Because I keep it very casual.
Yes, don't mind him.
So you work at, you don't work, so what did you do before you didn't have a job?
I always play football.
Football? Oh, snap. Okay, let's talk. What was your position?
Wide receiver, kick return.
Wide receiver, kick return. I was the other guy. I was a free safety at Maryland. Well, I like doing the hitting. I don't like to get hit. That's fantastic, man. So defense is the thing, man. It's all good. And so, Jaden, let me ask you a question. I'm going to cover a couple of points here to see if this is a good fit for you and this is a good fit for us. We're looking for a specific type of person that can help us grow our our businesses. Kyla is right now in the process of getting trained to open up her own branch office. If you're like most people that I meet are not out there looking to be in the financial services industry. I know I wasn't. I was a student athlete. I wanted to be somewhere, somehow involved with football. You know, I'm a little skinnier now, but I was 231 pounds. So I was nasty. I'm only 198 right now. So when I saw this information, I'm going to be honest with you, I was intimidated. Finance, here's why, because I was kicked out of school for academic probation. I forgot along the way to do my homework, right? So, you know, full-time job, full-time student, full-time athlete, something had to fall. But however, when I got this call, it wasn't for me, it was for my dad. So my dad, they were actually looking for him. My dad is actually, his name is Dr. Ace Acevedo. So they were looking for him. And then my mom hung up on the phone and I came home crying that day saying, Mom, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I failed out of school, what's next? She goes, well, somebody just called for your dad. Just pretend you're him. It's a true story. Just pretend you're him. Well, you do have the same name. My mom is a pastor too, okay? So you're technically not lying, okay? Because you have the same name. And so, give me a second here. Lost my train of thought. So the information that I'm going to put in your hands right now is going to come at you really fast. Before I do that, I do want to tell you there are 3 basic qualifications that we have to work with us at our firm. Don't waste time. Don't wait till the end. Ask them the questions. Number one, you can't have a conflict of interest type of job. So right now you're good because you're not working. And I'll write it down, no job. Number 2, you have to be at least a permanent resident of the United States. Are you at least a permanent resident of the United States? Okay, check. And number 3, you can't have any kind of felonies on your background. Not to be personal, but do you have anything in your background you think that would prevent you from qualifying with us? No. You know how many times I've done an RI and at the end, well, yeah, I got a felony. When we grew up in Primerica, almost nobody had a felony. Like literally, you got a felony, we used to go, a felony? And today is like, oh, you too, right? So you don't have anything in your background that you think that will prevent you from qualifying to work with us? Okay, fantastic. What I'm gonna do, you know, one of the advantages of being on a Zoom call is during COVID, we created about an hour and a half worth of information and we put it in 14 minutes. So my next question is, are you in a position right now where you're not gonna be disturbed for at least the next 14 and a half minutes? Fair enough? Okay, excellent. And then what I'm gonna do, after I share this webinar with you, I'm gonna come back, cover 2 more points to see if this is still a good fit for you and me. Fair enough? Beautiful. Denise, do you really want me to play the video? You guys all seen the video? I don't have to play it, right? No, it's fine. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Where is it? Okay, so let's just get to the end of the video, okay? Yeah, white label. Larry? No sound?
You drive up, knock on their door and say, how did
Blah, 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 blah. And then,
steps we provide you? And to have faith in yourself, have faith in
this is the end of the video, okay?
and in the system that's designed to support you.
Oh,
We realize this is a lot to process. Please.
Sorry about that, guys. Just want to get to the end. That way I don't take too much of your time. Can you see the screen? Okay. All right, so this is the end of the video.
Please don't hesitate to ask anything. We love talking about this stuff, and no matter which path you choose, we'd love to help you take a step toward a financial future that you can be proud of. At this point, we want to say thank you for watching this video. You've seen enough that you probably have an idea of what you might be interested in.
Larry, put it up.
Paths for you to consider. Path 1. Maybe you want to learn more about the financial concepts we talked about and create a plan for your own financial success. Path 2. You would like to learn more about the part-time opportunity, making some additional income with a flexible schedule. Much of it can be done from home.
It's
Or
almost
Path
over.
3. You'd be fine to start part-time, but you want to transition to a full-time career and work toward a six-figure income. When the video ends, you'll be able to pick your path by clicking 1, 2, or 3. Then we'll know how to help you get to where you want to go. Please take a moment now to pick your path.
All right, Jaden, so that was a lot of information in a short period of time. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So based on what you saw up to this point, well, I want him to see it real quick so he can pick a path. So Jaden, up to this point, which path would you say best piqued your interest up to this point?
Path number 2.
Path number 2, all right. Part-time. Fantastic. And guys, get into the habit of taking notes so you can go back and ask questions and things like that. Okay, so path 2 is a path. Okay, so what I'm gonna do real quick, Jaden, I'm gonna share with you how path 2 works. Okay, where is it? Oh, it's up here, okay. I'll have it ready. It's already pulled up, ready to roll. Before I share the screen with them, here's what I'm going to ask. Jaden, just to paint a picture, understand, remember the whole training I did on NLP, right? So auditory, visual, kinesthetic is how most people have their internal representation. So I try to use keywords based on who I think he is. You with me? Just eye movements, you know, if he's taking notes. So my goal is to paint a picture in his head, and I'll say that. So Jaden, my goal right now is just to paint a picture of how we're structured. Now, the best way I can paint that picture in your mind, so I'm gonna ask you a question. What online company is the most successful online company on the planet where you can order something today and tomorrow's at your doorsteps? Amazon. Let me ask you this. You notice all I do is ask questions. Okay, I'm not telling, I'm asking. So let me ask you this. What does Amazon build? They build everything? What do they manufacture? Nothing. They don't build anything. So why are they so successful? They're quick. Okay, very good. What else? Convenient. You can order today, tomorrow's at your doorsteps, right? What Amazon has created is what we created on our platform. It's called a distribution platform. So Amazon doesn't build anything, they don't manufacture anything, they don't create anything, but what they have is a platform where other companies and other entrepreneurs can come in and sell on their platform. And for every dollar that they sell, Amazon might make 2 or 3 pennies, but multiply that 100 million times. When it comes to financial services, I always say there's not a financial concern you can bring Ace or Kyla that we can't answer. We considered ourselves the Amazon of financial services. You with me? So that's a pretty big deal because no company does what we do the way we do it. And let me share that with you real quick. So if you look at my screen, you know, obviously he's on Zoom so he can see my screen. Give me a second. I got to write. Come on, homie. Forget it. All right. Let me just continue here. So and this, I'm writing circles around it. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to share with you the way our distribution platform is set up. So if you look at here in the center of the screen, you see that we do life insurance. And you saw the webinar. How many people out of 100 are going to die one day, Jaden? Everyone's going to die one day. We just don't know what time, what day, and how, right? And so life insurance is something super important on our platform to make sure that our families are properly protected. I didn't ask you, Jaden, but do you have any kids?
No, sir.
No kids. And I'm qualifying, homie. Okay? All right, so if you go to the right, you see Rocket Mortgage Quicken Loans, right? They're the largest lender when it comes to buying a house, refinancing a house. I know we're in Virginia. Maryland, I heard, is coming in really quick. So I'm excited about that. The next thing is auto and home. Now, you say you live in Owensville. How close is the subway to you?
Probably about 10 minutes.
10 minutes? You guys have subway up here? Or
Something like that.
train
By Metro
station?
Center.
Okay, cool. In Maryland right now, there's about 10, Maryland, DC, Virginia, is about 10 million drivers. And the statistics say that 1 out of 4 is overspending on auto and home by 47%. Do you know anybody that drives? Perfect. So what we do is we work in the areas of auto and home. Now, if you look at the bottom part, you look at, investments. We do managed accounts, mutual funds, business retirement plan. In other words, we bring what we call Wall Street to Main Street America. So I always use this example, guys, and you're allowed to borrow my example. My brother-in-law is a broker on Wall Street, and my wife's best friend is a broker on Wall Street. One is with UBS, and the other one was with Dreyfus. I don't know where he is now, but UBS. You understand that her name is Lily. Lily won't take a phone call from you unless you have $2 million or more. She won't. Unless you're related to the person who has the $2 million. And I tell her every year, Lily, but send me the ones that are at like 1.5. Send them to me. I'll take them. I'll take the one with 10 grand. She goes, and she's been doing it for 25 years. Unless you have $2 million or more, they're not going to talk to you. Just a quick question, Jaden. How many people in your family circle of friends have $2 million waiting for somebody from Wall Street to call them? Not a lot. I have 36 aunts and uncle, and if you put all 36 aunts and uncle together, they couldn't buy a bean burrito. Okay? Nobody has any money, okay? They couldn't buy a bean burrito, okay? It's just whatever pops in my head, okay? I'm sick like that. And so if you see here, we have companies like Fidelity, we have companies like Lincoln, Bright House, and I'll mention the most common ones. And what we've done, even if you don't have the $2 million, what we can do is we can set up a $100 a month investment or a $50 a month investment. Would you agree that people in our community still need that help? Right? By the way, do you like helping people?
Yes.
Okay. Because I had somebody who told me they don't like people. That's why they became a computer scientist. Okay, and then you go up here and then, identity theft or setting up a will, right? Most of the time when we meet somebody, they're married, they have kids. You guys have 3 kids, right? Man, listen, do you have a will in place? No, you don't have a will in place. So, what would happen if you're and your husband are on a date and you both pass away? Who's in charge of the kids? Who's going to assume your mortgage that you bought? Who's going to assume your checking account? You know how many people get stuck? And I'm telling, depend who I'm talking to, I'll say that. You know how many people get stuck? They can't reach the pop's money or the mom's money. They don't even know they had a policy, right? So having a will, last will and testament is super important. And so you could see here, and there's other stuff that we do like college plans and things like that, but can you see our platform here that there's not a financial concern you can bring me that I can't answer? Okay, before I finish, I want to ask you, Jaden, if we're willing to train you in this whole new industry, do I still have your interest?
Yes.
Is this something that you'd be willing to go get trained and get licensed? That's what I'm going to explain now.
Yes.
Absolutely? Okay, fantastic. So let's go ahead and cover that. And I think this is going to be the one part, I learned this from my girl, Lisa Jones. She says, you sell the sizzle, not the steak. Psst. You ever hear a steak coming around, right? I know you don't eat meat, but it's like, what does that mean? Sell the sizzle. Like, what can the license do for you? So, Jaden, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how our licensing process works, okay? So the first license you're going to get is what we call the life insurance license. You just came out of school, so you have no problem taking a test, right? Nah. And listen, this license is so easy. Both my kids got it while they're still in high school. A, B, C, D, pass. Good news is the answer is in front of you. As long as you study, you'll be good. So the life insurance is going to be the first license. Literally, if you follow Kyla's training, by this time next week, you can have that license and be field trained also. The next license is the SIE. It's a pre-qualification for you to get your permanent license. So the SIE stands for Securities Industry Essential, and that's going to teach you everything there is about investments. I'm going to share something with you real quick. The next one is called, that once you qualify for that, you're going to get your Series 6. The 63 is all about laws. The 26, don't worry about that one. That's reserved for people like Kyla that wants to open up an office in the future. If you want to open up an office in the future, then we'll talk about that license. Fair enough? And then the 65 gives you the official title of financial advisor. Now, let me share with you, Jaden, how special this license is. In the United States right now, anybody want to take a wild guess how many people have their securities license? Series 65? It's under 200,000. It's like Series 65, 67, I think it's like 150,000. And I'll tell them that. There's only about 150,000. And here's why, Jaden. Here's why Kyla took advantage, left her job to come do this full time with 3 little girls at the house. The industry makes it almost impossible for you to get those licenses. I don't know if you guys know this. Most financial firms, and I'm telling them this, most financial firms require that you have a 4-year degree. I would have left me out. And I'll do it just like that. I'm out. I don't have a degree. Number 2, you can't start path 2, part-time. Number 3, if you fail the test, you're fired. My brother-in-law failed this test, and they fired him from Janus funds, okay? He got a contract for $500,000, and they fired him because he didn't pass his test. These are facts. This is not FINRA, this is financial firms. And then all you do is spend all day calling 200 to 300 people of the richest. So that's why the lifespan of an investment advisor is only 4 years. However, we've eliminated all of that. If you fail the test, don't worry about it. We'll give you another shot and we'll pay for it. Okay? You don't have to have a background, a degree, and you don't have to sit there and make cold calls all day. How does that sound? I don't know about you, but I've always been the kind of person, I do weird stuff like this. I wear green socks, right? And it's like, I've always wanted to be like a unique type of person. Like in high school, even though I grew up in the hood, in high school, they used to call me preppy because I used to like wearing khaki pants and polo shirts, right? While all my friends had the hat sideways with the jeans down. That's not me. So I don't know about you, but if you want to separate yourself and have something nice on your resume, this is definitely the license to get. Fair enough? Would you be interested in getting those licenses? Yeah. So if you see here, approximately, we're going to invest as a company $2,500 for your education and your licenses. The initial investment on your behalf is $99, and that's just for the state police background check and to register you with the state of Maryland for the first license, which is the insurance license, which is right up the street from here on Pratt Avenue in Baltimore, okay? So if we're willing to invest $2,500, not only that, but Kyla, I'm gonna talk to you about Kyla in a second, okay, before I turn it over to her. That 99 is a one-time thing, but if you complete the training within the first 30 days, you'll get that plus more. So paid training, bonuses, I mean, you still can get paid on other services that I really didn't cover today. But if we're willing to invest time and money in you, would you be willing to invest the $99 to get your licenses up and running, even though you know you're going to get it back? Okay, is that a problem? No? Okay, excellent. Do you need dad's permission? Okay, good. You guys think I'm joking, but it's like, my daddy said I couldn't do this. Who was it? It was Jose. I think he's on. Jose had a cousin, like 25 years old. I gotta talk to my dad. And then it's like, how old are you? You know, anyway. So the last thing here is everything we do is high tech. We do everything through DocuSign, everything. Listen, we have a great office. We have a beautiful office, and I'll give them a tour of the office. However, 99% of our appointments are done on Zoom. Okay? I rather do it on Zoom. Saves me time and gas money. I don't know if you know, I spent $53 filling up my tank this morning. So everything we do, we also cover a lot of that part of the fees, which is about $500 worth of value a month that we cover. Okay? So listen, let me finish with this. Kyla will tell you, I'm gonna stop share real quick. So here's the worst case scenario, best case scenario. Do I still have your interest, Jaden? Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So worst case scenario, you come in, this is the way I look at the world, this is the way I coach my son and my daughter. Worst case scenario, you get a license, you get a really, really great education about money. How many decisions are you gonna make about money the rest of your life? A lot. For the rest of your life, right? So imagine making those decisions, Jaden, with all the information in your pocket. Easier. Nobody is, in Spanish, I say, nadie me va a coger de bobo. Nobody's gonna take me for a dummy, right? Because I'm educated. Worst case scenario, we pay for it, you get licensed, you don't make money, you're still in the same position you're in now. Best case scenario, and I'm not saying it's gonna happen to you, but best case scenario, what happened to me could happen to you. What happened to me is I came in, I saw it, I was intimidated, but I said, man, if I can just have one office, I'll be the happiest cat in the world. By the grace of God, we got 15. We got 400 licensed financial professionals, of which 75 are in our office, and Kyle is gonna be office number 16. Okay? So, and I sell the crap out of Kyla. You should be selling the crap out of your new recruits. Kyla is a no-nonsense lady, right, Kyla? I say that Kyla's a no-nonsense lady. I just spent the last 30 minutes with you. Now you got to answer one question she's going to ask you. What can you bring to the table? Why should she spend more time training you and taking time away from other people to help you train you? Okay? So you got to whistle while you work, okay? So Kyla is an awesome coach. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it over to her. She's going to ask you a few questions about your background, to make sure we get you registered. And then the second step will be to set up an orientation to cover from A to Z what are the next steps. Fair enough? Okay, Kyla, I'm going to turn it over to you, and then Kyla takes over from there. Yeah.
So once ACE is done, I say thank you. We go into the breakout room and I ask them what they liked best about the video. It kind of gets their mind thinking about the video again. They start saying they like how we have flexible schedule, they can make money whenever they want to, things like that. And I'm like, okay, awesome. I've already kind of know them from, most of my recruiting comes from LinkedIn. So I know what state they live in. So kind of like I know what they do for work because I ask them when we're messaging.
And then we do phone calls sometimes to qualify them first. So I ask them like, what are some of your hobbies? What motivates you? Things like that. Kind of see what type of person they are before I put them in front of ACE, because I don't want to get somebody on Zoom and then, we're trying to get people that will say yes. That we're looking for people who want a change, looking for people that want something different. So we're looking for people who are motivated. So you want to talk to these people first before we get them in front of ACE. So we're not just, putting people in front that we're getting no's and no's and no's. So once they've talked to ACE and we're in the breakout room, I usually ask them if they have any questions. Most of the time they say no, or they ask me like how to get clients. And then I talk about field training, why it's important, how we get referrals in field training, stuff like that. And I say, is that okay with you? And they say yes. And so now I know, bam, you're gonna take me to your family because I just told you you're getting your clients through referrals and field training. And so they say they don't have any questions. So I say, perfect. I know in the video it talked about the 99 and the 25. I just want to break that down a little bit further because it kind of just touches on it, right? Because most people are thinking about the money. So I let them know that, and I give them numbers like a 35 goes to your background check, state, federal law. We have to make sure you qualify to work with us. We're dealing with people's personal information, social security numbers, bank account information, children's accounts. So we have to make sure your background is clear. And that's usually when they're gonna tell us if they have a felony or not. They'll say, no, that's not a problem. Okay, perfect. And the rest of the 99 goes towards your state licensing materials, state and federal licensing materials. Most of us in different states, we could do it online. So you can study online at your own pace, but our goal is to have everybody licensed within 30 days. Is that fine with you? They're saying yes. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Do you have any other questions for me? If there any questions they have, I'll answer it, and I'll let them know I have a few questions for them, because this is an interview, so now it's my turn. The first thing I ask them is, what are some qualities that you feel that you can bring to this team? Then it gives them a chance to talk about themselves, right? I feel like I'm hardworking, I'm good with people, I like to listen, I'm a team player. So those are things that I'm looking for in people. If somebody can't tell me what they bring to the table, I don't know if I want them at my table, no disrespect, but I wanna know, if I put you on my team, how can you add to us, right? How can you bring value to us? Because we're gonna be bringing value to you, so this has to be a win-win. And then after they say that, I say, awesome. And then I ask them, what is your ideal monthly income? And that throws people off because people are used to people telling them you're gonna make $20 an hour, right? You're gonna make this in a year. So I'm asking them, how much do you wanna make? What's your ideal monthly income? They're like, oh, I never really thought about that, but most people say about 500 to 1,000 a month. And I'm like, okay. And now, how many hours a week do you have towards making that 500 to 1,000? And they say job hours like 40 or 20. So I giggle because it's funny because everybody says like 20 or 40 hours. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot, but okay, cool. So, and I said, can I kind of give you like a picture of someone's day? I say in the morning, we're prospecting, an appointment. So that's maybe like 1 to 2 hours. And then after that, we have a 12 o'clock, we go on, that's an hour. And then we have a 6 o'clock, we get on, that's an hour. If you're field training, you might put an hour or two a day in the field. And if you're studying, then you'll study for about 2 to 3 hours a day. So maybe about 10 to 15 hours a week. It comes up to like, 10 to 15 hours a week. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, because if you're coming in part-time, I'm not trying to assume your life. I don't need 40 hours. I just need you to dedicate 10 to 15 hours a week to me. And if you can do that, then I can train you. That's what ACE just did, the 12 and 6. No, that's where you put people on. So I'm doing my interviews are at 12 and 6. So if they have someone, if you're trying to build a business, then we're field training, right? And that's what I'm doing at 12 and 6. I'm looking to put people on. In the morning, I'm sending out my messages. When I wake up, sending out messages, trying to feed people until that 12, into that 6. And then I'm doing field training in the evening once people are off work. So in the morning, you're recruiting, you're building your team in the morning. And then in the evening, you're training your team. We put them on ACEs 12 and 6, but we hop on as well. Because we just want to feed everybody into ACE because he does an amazing job at the recruiting interview, so we want to take advantage of it. Obviously, if somebody can't get on at 12 or 6, we're prepared to do it ourselves. But if I can have 5 people on with ACE instead of doing 5 appointments, then I'm going to take that any day. You know, if we can get 10, 15 people on with ACE instead of doing 10, 15 recruiting interviews, you know, it's about working smarter, not harder, right? So I asked them, you know, what can you bring to the team? How much money do you want to make, ideally a month? How much time do you have? So they'll tell me $1,000 a month and they'll 20 hours. So I say, if we can get you licensed and trained, making $1,000 a month, working 20 hours a week, is there any reason why you wouldn't see if you qualify to work with us today? And I say today. So it's either yes or no. So if yes, I'm pulling up the IBA. Okay, let's go ahead and start the IBA process. We go through the application, bam. Can you do orientation this evening or does tomorrow work better? Tomorrow usually, but you wanna get orientation done within the first 24 to 48 hours. And then from there, I'm doing the F&A so they can see what we do. This is how much life insurance you need. This is how much investments you need. Do you see how a part of the orientation, you see how important this is? Now it's easier to get a list than just trying to jump right down somebody's throat trying to get a list. Show them what we do, why it's important. This is what you need for your life. Did you see how important this is for you? Who else is this important for, right? Who else do you love that needs this type of information? And then now the list is easier to get because they see what's happening. This is not just something they paid for, they got set up for class, now you're trying to pull people out of them. You have to bring value to people. You have to care about people. And I think that's a big disconnect with some people that come into this business, is that this is a people's business and we have to serve people in order to get what we want. And Christian says that all the time, that you can't come in this business and be money driven. You have to be people driven. And when you're people driven and you want to help your family and you want to help yourself, it just comes automatically. It's just with the flow of nature. So.
All right, guys, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. You have a question?
I kind of form them. Where are you from? What do you do for work? What do you do outside of work when you're not working? Like, what are some of your hobbies? Like, what motivates you? Awesome. I want to tell you a little bit about our company. This is a 1099 business, so it's a little bit different from a W-2. Is that okay with you? Yeah, sure. Okay, we're looking for money motivated people who want something that's different from a 9 to 5. Would you say you're looking for a job, or would you say you're looking for an opportunity? So if they're looking for a job, I'm not about to put them on with ACE because this is not a job, you know?
Right.
So we're looking for an opportunity, perfect. The next step will be to hop on one of our business overview calls with our senior broker. Are you available today or does tomorrow work better for you? I have 12
Yeah. Yeah, the first appointment should be the new person's appointment. I said, let me show you exactly what we do. No, after, yeah. Because then they get credit as an FTO, field training observation, so they credit for that.
F&A and they're ready to put the life insurance in place. Now they've got the field training bonus credit, and now they're ready to get the list because they want to build their credit.
And then when they do the list, you can find out, he can see in his mind the people that really, he knows that need the services. So it's easier for them to put them on top of the system.
All right, guys, thank you so much for your attention. Yep, so we're gonna have a 10-minute break, and then Deepak, you guys gotta see this, man. He's got this like microeconomics, and presentation. So he'll make 700.
All right, are we ready? If you are ready, say ready. All right, so today my presentation is different than what Gordon did and what Ace did, right? Because mine is more product driven, right? How we help people when we sit down with someone, especially in the investment side. So when I start my presentation, I talk about financial independence talk, but then I want to find out who they are and what do they have. So that philosophy, the things we learned from Tom Hopkins, it's called needs based. If you want, you can write it down, NEADS. Right? 1 second. All right. So that's basically my presentation. So as you will see so much of this one. That's all you are going to see. Right? That makes me lots of money. Right? All right. So now, basically that thing is called NEADS.
How are you doing that, Deepak?
So let's work on that. So I have something called, let me borrow his, but that is called notability.
Okay.
It's base. This is my biggest help, I tell you. So because I do presentation here, so and is my Apple pen. Yeah. So that's right. Yeah, otherwise it won't work. Right? But so N stands for two ways it can do. You can use this needs base for recruiting and needs base for sales. So I will not talk about recruiting as Ace did a great job, right? So how I use it for client. So let's see if I sit down with Hector, right? I will ask him, Hector, what do you do before Primerica, right? He was a student. So let's think students out. Alex, what do you do?
I drive a truck.
You drive a truck. Okay, very good. How long you are doing that?
5 years.
5 years. Okay, very good. So what do you enjoy doing driving a truck?
What I enjoy is I travel. I get to travel around.
You meet lots of people?
Get to know, yeah.
Okay.
Places.
You meet lots of places. Okay. No people. So what you don't like about doing that job?
The long hours.
Long hours, right?
Yeah, sitting down.
Right. So N stands for what does he do now? Or as a client, I will ask, what type of benefits do they give? Do they give you any benefits like 401k?
Yeah.
Okay. How about health insurance?
Yes, but they pay a fortune, I pay a fortune.
But at least you have that. Most people do not get from their job. Okay. So what else do they do? They give you any life insurance?
No.
Oh, really? Okay. I found out he does not have life insurance through his job. Right? So that's one thing I find out from there. Second thing, so in 401k, do they match your contribution?
Up to 4%.
Up to 4%. So do they match 100% or 50% of them? Dollar. That's very good. Okay. So over here, I want to find out, Lynette, what do they have?
So you use it for client and for
And for recruit. Recruit says, what do you like the most? What you don't like about working at driving a truck? And if if I can help you get what you don't have. So most people, what they like to have? Money or what they don't have. Right? I want to look like Christian David. I want it. But it's not hard. I want to have money like Christian David, which I don't. Right? Maybe you guys will want money like mine, but you don't. True or not? That's why you are listening to me. True or not? Right? So what is A stand for? What would you alter or change with what you're doing?
more money, more time freedom.
Okay. So let's say I'm happy doing that. That's BS, right? So BS is not that BS what you are thinking. BS is belief system. Right? because I don't use those language. But BS is your belief system says, I am happy with whatever I'm doing. So now, what I'll say, now let me ask you, how about money? Do they pay you enough money? Okay, so let's say if you are your own boss, how much money would you pay to yourself?
At least double.
At least double. And do you want to work like what you are doing right now? You don't, right? Okay. So let's say if there is, so if you have to make a decision in your life, which can help you make double the money, working very less hours, who other than you will be involved in making that final decision? Oh, so you listen to your wife. Very good. I'm just kidding. Right? So if there is an opportunity where I can show you or which I can help you get double the money, how serious are you?
100%.
So, but this is a recruiting. I do the same presentation what you will see in recruiting and investments or life insurance. So now I can help one thing, Larry, can you stop recording from now onwards? Now I will go back to my investment presentation. Stop recording. What?
I play soccer.
You play soccer. Do you still play soccer or when you were younger you were playing?
When I was young, now I just watch.
So you watch. So, but let's say now, if some old people say, I don't play any sports because you are old, right? So let's say if he says he plays soccer. Now let's say, Alex, if I want to play, me and my friends wants to play a soccer game with you and your friends. You guys know about the rules and we don't. So what are the chances of us beating you in that game? Zero. Right or wrong? So, it says the soccer, football, tennis, cricket, all are sports and we must know the rules of those games. Would you agree? Because if you don't know the rules, chances of winning that game is zero. Are you with me so far? So same way financial expert says that money